I'm finally starting a new Dynasty series on College Football 26, and just like when I chose FIU, this wasn't easy. I figured with how hard the SEC is though, I had to go with the school from there, so this series will be taking place in a college town, Fayetteville, a growing city in the state of Arkansas. This is a program that's won a championship before, all the way back in 1964. Over 60 years later, it is time I help head coach Sam Pittman keep rebuilding, as I step into my hardest rebuild series ever, which is more than just being in the SEC. Like always, I have this game set to the hardest difficulty, but I've made it even worse with the hardest slider set that I could find online, which is not good for my skill level because each episode I'll be playing a full season where I play every single game. Luckily, we have 6'6" senior quarterback Taylon Green, who is going to be the heart of this offense with his 94 throw power and 91 speed. We're definitely going to need the kid because if we just take a look at our schedule, the only game on here I even feel decent about is Arkansas State. The benefit to using a school like the Razorbacks though is we have some really solid school grades with a great fan base that's going to be backing us, which we need really badly because we're rivals with LSU, Missouri, Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. The list goes on and on. There's a ton of history with Arkansas. My goal with this roster in season 1, this video, is get 6 wins and make it to a bowl game. That's pretty crucial if we want to keep up a positive program trajectory, and I will be rocking with everything that Sam Pittman has set for this program. Now, if there's a running back I want to focus on, it is sophomore Braylon Russell. His deal breaker is pro potential, which is a little bit concerning, but the kid's got 90 trucking already, so we need to be able to keep him around. Then at receiver, I'd say things are looking a lot better. We have senior Omega Blake as our wide receiver 1, which is just a sick name, but who I want to focus on is Jalen Brown. This sophomore comes in with 96 speed, star development. He cares about playing time, so he shouldn't transfer out. His catching can just never get that amazing. There are certain stats that it can't go up in, which stinks, but then we have someone like 99 speed Jordan Anthony, so EA's trying to help me with the hardest sliders I've been able to pull around. When we go to our quarterback room though, I'm not excited for any of these freshmen. That is why 4-star Bryce Clapp is one of the guys I'm recruiting. I need him to come to campus and clap anything that he can because he is a pocket passer that could be dangerously good. The only 2 5-stars I'm going after are Tim Ball and Jordan Beach. Both of them cornerbacks. Jordan is the better one as a gym. If we could sign either of these guys, it would take our defensive back room to a whole other level. If I need to, I'll even offer these kids shares of Walmart if we can just get them to commit. And the last recruit I'll talk about for now is Jim Alex Merriman. He's a 4-star gadget receiver from Oklahoma, and I would like to use him as more than just a receiver, but at running back too. You're gonna see other big boys, thick guys up front on our board, but I'm not too worried about whether or not we get them. Those skill guys are the ones that I'm going to be super focused on. And lastly, I know I didn't talk that much about our defense. That's because there's no one on this side of the ball that I've really fallen in love with yet. Besides linebacker Tavian Wallace, he is a true freshman, and this kid comes in with 91 speed, so you best believe he's going to be my user. It's about time that we just get started with this season though. We know that all of these deal breakers can change over time. There's no guarantees anybody will transfer out, even running back Braylon Russell, who's going to be starting for us. We'll just have to see how it plays out, but I am not happy with the fact that Bryce Clapp is already going to lock us out. We didn't even get a chance to sign the kid. There was another quarterback option, Keontae Brown. He's from Little Rock, Arkansas, so he is in the state. I just don't think he's going to be as good. We're still going to pick him up, but that was not how I saw the season starting. We might as well just hop into our first game of the season against Arkansas State, who is the only other team in Arkansas that we can play. I don't know if this is really a rivalry, but I'm hoping that it doesn't become one by us losing this matchup. We've got to go out. We have to play strong, or else the rest of the year is going to be a long one. And it looks like we are going to be starting on the defensive side of the ball. Taylon Green is going to complete his first pass. Freshman Tavion Wallace has already been able to pick up a tackle, but there were way too many guys for him to cover there. As this game goes on, we might need to watch out for receiver Nana Burris too. That was a great move after the catch. Kenyon Clay did not stand a chance at pulling off an impressive play there though. We make the tackle again with Tavion. So here we go. We got them on a 3rd and 8, a chance to get them off of the field. Are they going to test him? Oh my gosh, we had to cover both of them. That's a hard spot for him to be in, but you have to wonder where our pass rush was at. I'm already picking up on the fact that we're going to have to improve our defensive line a good bit this offseason. They're not going to test us deep, or maybe they are. And are you kidding? I already have a defensive player to get upset with, and he's a senior. You've got to catch that ball. Let's just say I'm not going to be user and Scandra much more this season. I'm on Larry Worth III here, but the senior gave it up. Just off of what Arkansas State's done so far, I am a little bit intimidated. That was a great throw. What worries me is if we can't stop the Red Wolves, how are we going to get stops in SEC play? We got Jordan Anthony on the return. He didn't really go anywhere with it, but it is time for our offense to take the field. I really like having Omega Blake on the outside because even though I'd like to focus on running the football, just having that option to throw it up is nice. We got Braylon Russell out there for this play. He's going to see the hole and get us to a 3rd and inches. But this is exactly what I was hoping for. They're going to get very aggressive already, trying to stop our passing offense. And that was almost a missed throw to Cam Shanks. We do not want to see that out of Taylon Green a lot this season. Braylon is going to break the first tackle. But I just feel like they are disrespecting Omega Blake out there. We're going to see what he can do deep. If it's not there, we're going to throw it to Mike Washington Jr. The 3rd down back is able to hang on to the football for us. And after motioning a guy over, we missed it. Hitting the hole better is going to be something that Braylon's going to have to improve as his career goes on. We find Mike Washington out there, but he just didn't catch the ball, which makes this 3rd and 9. And it's a bad throw. I'm not liking what I'm seeing already. We are going to have to punt it back to Arkansas State. Let's just hope that this pins them out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, which it does. We're applying some pressure here. I'm not too concerned that they're going to be able to beat us deep. The fact that they almost broke that tackle, though, a little bit concerning, and we get the sack. David Oki, the senior defensive tackle, gets the pressure in. All they could do was run it, which is perfect. It leaves Jordan Anthony back there to return the kick. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and take it to this side of the field with the speedster. He's going to make a few guys miss too. So I know it wasn't a great first quarter, but we're setting ourselves up. The good thing about playing Arkansas State for our first game of this rebuild is we have a lot of time to figure out this team. And it's going to allow us to stiff arm a guy. You do not want to go for a tackle on Braylon Russell. He's got gold armbar. I'm really hoping they switch up with some man-to-man coverage here, though, in the red zone. We're going to hit Mike Washington Jr. underneath, and he gets in the end zone by breaking a kid's ankles. That's what I love to see. And I might start making him get on the field more than just for those plays. He's just a lot faster and more elusive than Braylon Russell, which is super nice to have. Are you serious, Larry? Our senior strong safety had an interception in his hands, and he just dropped it. Now they're going to take their check down. Tavion knocks it loose. We just have some blanketing coverage at the moment, and you better not test Scandrett again. I bet he gets an interception if you do. That's my hope, at least. The senior's also out there helping us block when we're returning punts. Jordan Anthony with the chance to take this one to the crib. He makes 2 guys miss. Jordan Anthony is gone, and that is why you want a kid like this on the team. I never get punt returns. I'm already starting to fall in love with this Arkansas roster, and I know I can basically guarantee as we get through this season, I'm going to get very upset. When we can't move the rock because we're playing at a top 5 school who's also our rival, it's going to bug me. But I'm sure even Arkansas fans will tell you, winning this game is not a guarantee for them. You never know when they're going to show up, so it's a good thing we have so far in this matchup. What I'm wondering is if we have the best punt returner in the game as well, though that was not pretty. Good to know his spin move isn't anything that impressive. We're going to see if we can get like 6. Then give a direct snap over to Taylon Green and let him take advantage of it. I'm really questioning whether or not we should hit him with a play action here. They're setting up to stop Braylon Russell, but that hole is still big enough. And you know what? I think when you're the better team, you just got to keep it simple. I'm loving the idea of hitting them with a little RPO to Jaden Platt. If the sophomore tight end decides that he wants to stay with the Razorbacks, he could be around with us for a little bit. The Red Wolves have been able to get us to a 3rd and 7, though, where we're going to break the first sack attempt, but we're just stuck in there. Taylon Green is still standing. This kid's unstoppable. I don't know how he got out of there. I don't know how he got out of there. It's made me pay a little bit more attention to this clock, though, and what I would love to do is just end this first half with at least 3 points. Though, if we're going to get 7, I'll take it. I want the 2-possession lead. I do not want to throw my first interception early on in this series. I can't force this. I can't force this. I do find it interesting, though, how safe they're playing it here. They're giving us a great opportunity to just run the football, which is why I decided to run the football here as we truck and look at Braylon Russell. I don't care that they've audibled to a better formation. They do not have the set out there to stop us. Okay, maybe they did have the personnel to pull it off, but let's see. Are we going to have Cam Shanks underneath? We are, and he's at the 1. Now that we're this close to the end zone, it makes me think it's 4-down territory. The stadium's gotten so quiet. The fans are biting their nails. Are we going to be able to get in with Braylon Russell? You know what? We're on the 2. As much as I'd love to go for this, we have to win this game. Later in the season, when we're facing SEC schools, we're facing programs like Notre Dame, I'll be more aggressive. That's when we're going to be the underdog. But for now, we're still figuring out what we want to do with this offense. Are you kidding me? Okay, we got lucky. We recovered it. It's not the end of the world. I really like the idea of taking a shot deep to Jaylen Brown. I saw that they were pressing the sophomore, and that's why you don't want to test the sophomore. I love it. I love it. I'm starting to feel like we got this first result of this season locked up, though what a play from their tight end. Maybe their offense is about to find their way into a rhythm. and we turned around for that one. Quintavis Scandrett dropped it again, though. He's starting to get himself a little bit of reputation, which is why he's needed to come up with a pick here. That's what I got to do. I just got to talk bad about some of the guys on this roster, and then they'll figure it out. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing out of these guys so far. They're playing the way we want them to. I think it makes the most sense to just continue to run the football, use some RPOs if we need to as well. Jaylen Brown was clearly thirsty for another touchdown, but it is going to go to Braylon Russell. Actually, you know what? We want Jaylen Brown to feel like we really love him here. We don't want him to transfer, so I'll give him this look. It really feels like we have this one locked up now. I mean, they're going to have a wide open slant, which is going to put them at the 15, but I don't think Arkansas would end up blowing a lead like that. Surely not. Here we go, though. First and goal. They spin their way in, and if they get this 2-point conversion, it will be a 2-possession game still, but they're not going to. They also need to be able to get a defensive stop as well, and I'm not sure I see it happening, but they have been able to get us to a 3rd and 9, where we're just going to try and sit in the pocket and go down. It would be really, really bad if we were still to blow this. I mean, they're going to go for a deep shot. They're looking for him, but it's just not there. I was thinking with 4 guys, we'd generate some pressure, but we just got to swat this one away, which we do. Here we go. We're going to pump up the crowd with Tavion Wallace. 3-possession lead, 4th down on the line. They're taking up another shot, the Bridges. Swat it. Swat it. We worked out. I know we're targeting 2 5-star cornerbacks, but sophomore corner Selman Bridges did have some lockdown defense on that drive. That was nice. It's good to know if we don't sign everybody we want, we're still going to have him on the roster, most likely. And look at Omega Blake going all the way into the end zone. Some of the plays that we made in this game have me so excited for the rest of this first season, which I wasn't sure I was going to be that excited about. I knew Jaylen Brown was probably going to be solid. What I wasn't expecting, though, was Taylon Green to throw for 4 touchdowns to complete 80% of his passes. We were still pretty conservative with when we threw it, and Braylon Russell to rush for over 100 yards. I don't know how often we're going to see a performance like that, though, and we already have an opportunity to hard sell on one of these 4-star right guards that we're in first place for. The biggest issue I'm seeing, though, is the first week we can schedule them for a visit is going to be week 5 against Notre Dame, which we're going to do, but we're most likely going to lose. So I don't really love that, but we do have a lead on gadget receiver Alex Merriman, and then for both of these 5-star cornerbacks, right now, we're in first place. A lot of that can change, though, especially if we don't win on the road at Oklahoma State, who used to be a rival of the Razorbacks from like 1950 to 1980. We're bringing this rivalry back, and we're going to try and beat the Cowboys. After this one, we have to go on the road at Ole Miss to start SEC play, facing off against one of our very many rivals. But we can't overlook these Cowboys. Mike Gundy always seems to put together a pretty good team, besides last season. Selman Bridges, first tackle of the day. He might be my favorite cornerback on this roster. And I'm going to see if we can bait them with Larry Worth III on 3rd down. Zane Flores was pretty inaccurate there. Now we got Jordan Anthony hitting the outside, but getting caught. What's going to be interesting, though, is our offense going to translate what we did last week to this one? We're playing on the road at a stadium that has the 24th best stadium pulse in the country, and they're going to have a stronger offensive and defensive line, but so far, so good. Taylon Green's a bit confused, though, so we're not going to be able to audible in this spot. We got to keep that in mind for the plays that we're running. We're probably going to have to keep them stock. If we're patient enough, I think we're going to have Jaylen Brown underneath, and he's going to get us to the 40. I thought that silenced the crowd a little bit, but it's not made that much of a difference. Taylon Green's going to try and take on both of those players. He's going to break a tackle. I am really loving what I am seeing from this offense so far, but we're getting caught up. Remember, 6 wins is the goal for this season. I want to make it to a bowl game. We're going to go with a pump fake and then try throw over his head. I want to reiterate all that, though, because I've taken a hard look at the schedule. If we're going to make it to a bowl, this is one of those must wins. With Jaden Platt just not picking up his assignment here, though, that should have been a pick 6. The fact that we are going to be able to most likely get 3 points out of this drive is massive. Scott Starzik laid that one straight into the All-State hands. Their carry gets them 4. I know you saw Walker's attempt at just taking that kid's head off, though. I mean, he got very close to pulling it off. This cannot be a forgiving defense. We need to play them as hard as we can. He had way too much time. But still, Zane Flores is really not that good, so I feel like we shouldn't have that much of an issue versus him. Come on, Tavion. The freshman lurked perfectly there, but it just didn't work out for us. We're not going to be able to make this tackle in time either. Not good. In fact, I thought that was about to be much worse. Bringing in the pressure worked out. If we could just bait them into an interception, I mean, that would help so much. Larry Worth III has a chance to snag this football. I'm starting to wonder if anybody is capable of catching the football, though. and they're going to be in field goal range, but they're not getting the first down. You know what? I can take trading 3 points for each one of our first drives. It's cool to see their retired numbers behind the end zone as well. Never mind, as that kick got closer, it's actually just listing out some of their accomplishments. 21st round draft picks at Oklahoma State, obviously won a natty back then, and 11 conference championships. There's a lot of history with the Cowboys as well, just like with Arkansas. If they bring in the pressure, we're going to be able to break the first tackle with Cam Shanks. I love to see it out of the sophomore. I just know that he might transfer because his deal breaker is not being met. I think it's playing style, though, so that is something that is adjustable. They had pressing going on, but we're just going to give it to Braylon. It is very hard to audible in the stadium at the moment, but we're able to pass. Not for very much, but sometimes you don't need to go for the touchdown shots. You have to make them respect the short throws first. And we just got our linemen shoved into our running lane. That was sure not happening last week against Arkansas State. Man-to-man coverage, Jaden Platt hangs on. Our sophomore tight end did not get the best throw there, but he made the most out of it. I can see this game just being a hard defensive battle, though, especially if they stop the run again. It'd be great if we could get more than 3 points out of this drive, especially if we're able to find Jaylen Brown open, who turns upfield, and Jaylen Brown is gone. He's going to run straight into the end zone. Maybe we should go over to the cheerleaders here. Don't throw a ball at him. You're going to scare them away. You got a couple fine ladies right there, and then you just go up and beam a ball at them. You're going to be scaring them. Obviously, still need to work on Jaylen Brown's IQ and awareness a little bit, but he has solid potential. He's going to be a great kid anyway, and we're missing that tackle with Tavion and another. Not loving that at all. They get out an RPO, though, that we can't get our hands on. If we just get some better cornerbacks, that's a pick 6, and Oklahoma State is in a very bad spot. How are we giving this up? There's just no world where we should be able to send 4 and give them 6 seconds back there in the pocket. I've already decided #1 focus and priority during the transfer portal, get some better defensive linemen in next season. They're about to score a touchdown. He breaks the tackle. Go ahead. It is what it is. Jordan Anthony gets his opportunity here. That's all I can ask for. We should probably find a way to get him out there on some more of these plays as well. Like, I'd love to have him in. I do believe that if they're very aggressive with the blitz here, we're going to have a big play out of Mike Washington Jr., and it works out still. Even though we didn't get it out quick, it worked. I thought waiting that long, they'd have time to adjust, but they just chose not to. We're going to need a good throw out of Taylon Green to Jaylen Brown, and this is just a little bit of an ego play here, but I see Omega Blake getting one-on-one coverage potentially. If it's not there, we'll go underneath. We'll take 5. At some point, though, they're going to leave him on an island. Here, we're going to look for our corner route, and it is 3rd and 7. We can't make adjustments. Stadium pulse through the roof. We threw this a little bit way too late. I don't love it, but what we're going to do is we're going to punt it. We're going to play defense, and that's not going out at the 1, is it? At least it was a pretty close call. First handoff. They're going to be able to hurdle over one of our defenders and get 15. If it wasn't for that diving tackle, who knows how many yards that could have potentially gone for. Great coverage. They had no choice but to just take the sack. I would love if they ran the football here, but they're going to throw it, and they get it out quick enough to pick up 25? You know, a lot of these linebackers are pretty sorry, which is ironic because that's the name of one of our linebackers. Their zone coverage stats just stink. If we're going to get a lot of stops through the air this year, we might have to get super creative with some of the blitzes that we decide to bring. And this guy's shifty. This guy's quick. He's sneaky athletic. I dissed on quarterback Zane Flores early on, but now he's starting to scare me. He's making good reads. He's finding his targets. Maybe he'll throw an interception to us, or we're just going to leave this guy open. I don't know where we're guarding, but I know I protected the sticks, and I pass committed. What I'd really love to end this first half is getting into field goal range, which we got a decent chance of doing. Taylon Green with the missile. They're dropping 3 guys back, so we're going to scramble, and we're going to see if we can make a play. We're just going to have to throw this one out. We probably should have tried to stay in the pocket there. That's what I'm doing, and it worked better. Now, we're going to have to go down with Braylon Russell within 4 seconds, or else this is really, really dumb to run the football. But it worked. We have set up Scott Starzik, the freshman kicker, for a 53-yarder, I think. And he's got the leg for it. It just needs to keep on going, which it does. That was a close call, but we're only trailing by 4 points on the road, and it's been a very even game. I knew it was going to be hard for us to just go in and win this former rivalry game against them, but we started off so well that I got a little bit overly confident, and now we're going to go for a huge play to Omega Blake. Listen, confidence is through the roof at the moment. We're going to keep on feeding him. He breaks a tackle. No, don't get in our way. That could have been it. That could have been a breakaway, like 70-yard touchdown. We're going for it. We are going to Cam Shanks, and he snags it. He makes the catch. He drags a foot. Those fans are in disbelief, and he is stuck inside the stadium. What a throw from Taylon Green, though. Just like that, this stadium, dead silent. 4 plays, 82 yards. I really don't believe that it could have been any more perfect than that. but look at how quickly they're past midfield. I'm really struggling to figure out what we're going to be able to do defensively. I'm not the biggest fan of running the 4-2-5, but like I said, I'm going to stick with what Sam Pittman does. And that was some great coverage, setting up for a 3rd and 9. Tavion Wallace is going to have to get over and make this tackle in time, though, and he got his body in the way. Okay, they're going to go for the tie. They're not hitting us with the fake field goal, and it's going to go in. That's all good with me, though. You saw how our offense has been firing away recently against them. It's not often, though, you see someone hit with that much force that we're going to get brought down. Braylon Russell will not be in for this 3rd and 4. It's going to be Mike Washington Jr., but it doesn't pan out. If Taylon Green just makes a decent little layup lob halfback screen pass there, we're fine. We're fine, but he doesn't. So it's going to be all tied with them getting it back. This is a stressful game for us. They had so much time to process what they were doing. It was just such a slow read, but it didn't make a difference at all. And we're going to make a play on the ball. Look at that. Wooden gets the pick. I didn't know our senior free safety had it in him, but maybe we can lean on Caleb more this season. These last couple runs have been extremely ugly for us. I'm going to try and pull off a throw on the run, but it's going to get picked off right back. That's our first turnover. You know, as excited as I want to get about Taylon Green, he's really selling. And the worst part is at the moment, next season, we don't have a better replacement lined up. Now, of course, that is subject to change. You never know who we're going to be able to pick up. But I might need to take another look at the quarterbacks that are available for us. And are we going to try to return this? We got pretty lucky with that bounce. This might be aggressive to go for a deep passing play right here. But I saw what they were lined up in. I saw the press, and I just had to risk it there because now we're at midfield and we can't run. Braylon Russell currently has 10 carries for 22 yards. We might need to get super creative with how we're going to move it. I think my best hope in this situation is they just send those linebackers on a blitz immediately, and if they don't, that we catch this. Well, we're about to punt it straight back to them after they gave it to us, which is really unfortunate. We're also not going to get back to this ball in time, I don't think. But we have a stacked box. We're prepared for the run. And are we going to shift our defensive line over at all? They hit us with play action. This could be a nightmare, or it could be a turnover that we're going to get. Sorry, Junior comes down with it, and he might be gone. Come on, come on. Defense is going to win us games this year, and that's something I wasn't sure we'd be able to get stops on. I'm feeling a little bit better, but our offense has dried up. We still have almost 100 more total yards, but it really doesn't feel like we do to me. We've used the jet touch pass for Jaylen Brown to get stopped. He got us a couple there, but it's just going to take a tight read in a window for us to get a touchdown, and it was off target. It's unfortunate. This kick is not a gimme either. We're not putting much power on it, and it still ricochets. That's what we get for having a freshman kicker out there. We got set up perfectly to score points, and we couldn't. I am genuinely terrified for us to start SEC play, but we're going to get a sack on Zane. We have 5 sacks to their 0 in this game. We got switched on the Wooden at the last second, but we have the coverage to lock up. Good job. All right, this is where Jordan Anthony could flip this entire game on its head with a solid return. He's going to get caught. But I'm not fully giving up on Braylon Russell and the running game yet. I'm really trying to give him more opportunities. Thankfully, Jaden Platt's going to get open, and we shouldn't have juked. The effort out of Omega Blake there to block 2 players instead of 1 was just unmatched. The senior receiver is such a crucial piece to this team. I was actually trying to audible on this play, but I'm glad that we didn't. I don't know how well a run would have actually done there. We're starting to chew the clock, and that is a nice hole for Braylon. We have not seen one of those in a second. Maybe we can get it again. We're cutting, but that guy got free. What I'm watching for is how they guard Jaylen Brown. It looks like they're going to have him locked up, which is why we ran it. And before I let Taylon Green take this carry, I put our ball carrier on conservative. I do not want him to fumble, but I want him to get a lane into the end zone. It's still possible we start the season 2-0. The real question, though, is going to be, what does Zane Flores have in the tank? Is he going to be able to dot us up? I don't think so. He just missed a throw that he really shouldn't have. They're actually running the football, which we weren't expecting, and it's going to get them a lot of yards. It's going to get them a touchdown. Are you serious? He broke that tackle. Come on, knock him short. Knock him short. I thought we had this locked up, but they didn't even have to throw the ball. Now what we need to figure out is, are they prepared to stop the run? Because we sure weren't. We had an RPO option. We're not able to audible out of this speed option, though, for this next play, which I don't necessarily love. And here's what we've done. We've taken the clock down just in case we don't pick this up. I'm going to scramble with Taylon Green, and he's going to get us enough. So a game-winning field goal. It's still possible, but we just didn't have to risk throwing a pick. That could have done it. I think we're going to be headed to overtime, which I really, really would have loved to avoid. We're going to try and go over their head there, though. Come on. Taylon Green has sold this game. We had it right there. We're going to go for it again, and he sold a second time. We could have been in field goal range. He has a strong enough arm to get this to the end zone. There's no way. There's no way. Catch it. Catch it. We got it. We got a Hail Mary. My first one on College Football 26. We're going to take down Oklahoma. Oklahoma State has nothing on us. There's no way that worked out. You know what? Forget everything I said about Taylor Green. This is the greatest quarterback that has ever graced Arkansas football. I didn't know if there could be a better series than FIU, but this one's off to a dang good start. It was Cam Shanks that came down with this on the other end. He's not one of our tallest receivers, but he's sneaky. And look at how he went up for this ball in the midst of like 5 other dudes and just hung on to it. The 2-star from Prattville, Alabama, 5'8", was the guy that came down with it. Like I said, his deal breaker might not be met. He might leave us, but if we can get that playing style up, I would love to keep him around. He's in the same position as our other sophomore, though, where the only catching stat that upgrades is their catching. That's what I don't like about Jalen Brown. It's really annoying because if you take another archetype like Speedster right here, when you go in to upgrade their catching, you're going to be able to see that they get every type of catching instead of just the base one. If we're catching Hail Marys with that archetype, though, I really cannot disrespect it. At the moment, it looks like we currently have 13 players potentially willing to transfer. It's too early to tell, though, whether or not that is actually going to happen. We guessed this hard sell right on Jeremiah Douglas, but I think Tennessee's going to get him just because they have a better pipeline, and he's from Tennessee. Same thing with Barry, the right guard. We have a great hard sell pitch, but unfortunately, we don't have a pipeline in North Carolina, and NC State has a tier 5 one. At least it seems like Keontae Brown is easily going to come to the Razorbacks, so we're going to have another quarterback that we could develop for the future. He's just not as exciting as the 4-stars we were looking at. He's Arkansas grown, though, so I would love to be able to bring him in and develop him. I'm still going to have to look through these freshmen, though, and decide, is there anyone here like Grayson Wilson from Arkansas that we can work with? It's definitely skill caps that are going to hold back some of these players and the deal breaker that's on him, because for Grayson, for example, he cares about playing time, and he's not going to get that this season. Then you have Trevor Jackson. He cares about pro potential, and if Taylor Green doesn't get drafted, then most likely once he gets better, he would just transfer away from the program. That finally leaves us with KJ Jackson, and his brand exposure deal breaker, I'm hoping we can stay at a B+, but the problem I have with him is he's a lefty, though his potential is high, and he's also the fastest of the 3. That might be our new plan for the future. It's about time that we start SEC play, though. Cool to see my Wildcats sitting at 2-0. There's so many ranked teams inside this conference. Somehow, though, the Rebels lost to Kentucky again, and they lost to Georgia State. They give up 49 points to the Panthers. I know for a fact that on paper, if you compare our overalls to Ole Miss, they're going to have a better roster than us. They're going to have some tough players to stop on that offensive side. Even quarterback Austin Simmons worries me. He has the extender ability, so even though his accuracy is not all that, he's got 95 throw power. He's going to hit those windows. He also has a decent bit of speed. And I am sure, I've already mentioned it, but we have to play on the road. So playing on the road at the Rebels against Lane Kiffin, we'll see if we can pull it off, but I'm not sure if we're going to stay undefeated. It would be a real shame if we lost our first rivalry that we play with Arkansas in this series. Historically, we actually lead this series, but the Rebels have won the last 2. Their first play of the game, they're not getting it out. I like how our defensive line is coming so far, but there's 15. Tavion Wallace fell for the RPO. I should have been using him. I wouldn't have. I'm really excited to see what upgrades we can get with him during the offseason. And here on 3rd and 2, I'm being a little bit aggressive. I decided that we were going to send a blitz, and then my own player tripped us up. They got us spread out for this next play, which worried me a little bit, especially if they're just going to break a tackle. And Larry Worth III is jetting it across the field just to get flipped around again. Can we please not have messed up zones? We got things sorted. We're getting in that hole, and we're stopping it. What we saw last week was we saw Wooden make a great play for an interception. I'm not sure if we're going to get him tested again. Someone needs to test that kid, though. Make him pee in a cup, because he just broke a full-on hit stick like it wasn't an issue at all. Not the greatest start for us in this game. I can only imagine what this crowd is going to be like, but we're going to see if Anthony can do anything early on. I don't know if we're ever going to get a return as great as his return against Arkansas State. I think I might be trying to recreate that for this entire series. It's kind of disrespectful what they're saying about our run game at the moment, though. There are big holes to take advantage of. I mean, maybe their defensive line's good enough, though. They had no issue stopping it. Man-to-man coverage, not enough time. Should have probably looked for one of our inside routes instead. I just wasn't sure whether or not they were going to get open. And they're already going to be at midfield. This is our toughest test so far, though. We knew it was going to be. We're not going to be able to get over to that route. Awful user. Currently, the Rebels are doing whatever they want against us, but it's a must-win game for them. If they can't beat us, their season's over already because they started it in such a rough spot. He's still up. I know he's one of the best tight ends in the country, but how many dudes does it take to bring him down? That's great. Austin Simmons might have just thrown them out of field goal range for no reason at all. Is their kicker going to be able to hit this? Never mind. Never mind. It's easy. We're hitting 55-yarders like it's nothing. Jaylen Brown gets this return. Nowhere for him to go. I think it's the punt returns where we can really make those huge plays. And this was the wrong read. Early on here, I'm just going to look underneath and see if we can feed Mike Washington Jr. I know he has what it takes to make plays after the catch. This play call, though, I'm going to want to audible out of. It worked for us. We're going to have our flat open, but I also could just run with Taylon Green and not risk a thing. You know, it's important for him to not forget that he's got 91 speed back there to make stuff happen. It's kind of disgusting that he's a lot faster than Braylon Russell, but it is what it is. We did not route that kid up. That really should have been an interception. And Jaylen Brown is open here, but it's out of reach. You know, I talked bad about Taylon Green and his missed throws last week. I'm about to start doing the same thing this week. I mean, it caused him to throw an Hail Mary for the win. So it works out when you talk trash. I don't think he's on an Alexander Bean level yet. You also have to keep in mind that these sliders are going to make it a little bit more challenging. They still got rid of it. We did everything right. If they decide to run this ball, we might be in some trouble, but they didn't. And they're still getting 4. We were looking inside. We were looking underneath. We're doing it again, but we left the corner route. On the field, they actually said he was out of bounds already. But when you watch it back, he was clearly in. This is a catch. There's a ref standing there. They're reviewing it. For a split second, I thought we might get a really lucky call. But then I remembered we're playing at Ole Miss, and we just gave up a touchdown over the top. It's 17-0. I'm literally just hoping for a miracle at this point. Taylon Green is making all sorts of moves to throw it out of bounds. I just don't know what to do. I mean, we got off to such a terrible start. That could have gone very bad. Our offense has just not existed so far in this game. They're going to bring in the heat, and we're going to have to trust Russell to hang on. I'm in a little bit of a panic mode, which is never a spot you want to be in whenever you're just starting a game. We are either going to have a lot of success on this drive, or it's simply just going to get worse. I'm going to be looking at Omega Blake for a quick out route, and he should be open. He's going to hang on. This Rebel defense, though, that gave up 49 points to Georgia State. I don't understand how they scored 49 because we are struggling, but Mike Washington Jr. is going to stiff arm a kid. It's a shame that weird tackle animation just ruined a run because it was one of the best ones we have been able to get all year. If we can get them to bite, though, on another run because we've been running it so many times, we could have had a touchdown, and Taylon Green misses it. Taylon Green stinks. I'm done. I'm done with him already. You know, he's had some great moments, but you can't miss. This kid does not want Arkansas to be 3-0. We're going to get a safety. We're going to get a safety. And we're getting Jordan Anthony on a punt. You never know what could happen out of this. You know what the problem is, though? Guess who we have to use for a whole other drive and just hope that he makes some passes. It's not like I'm able to crash out and bench Taylon Green either. I mean, who else would we possibly play? We're just stuck with him. We have a lot of guys pulling over on 3rd down, which won't work. Braylon Russell is currently on 5 yards for 0 carries. I think we have to go for it in this situation, but it's going to be knocked out. Mike Washington Jr. gets open there out of the backfield. I don't know why he wasn't in for the play. They're still going to get Austin Simmons to get a throw out, but we make a play on it with Bridges. And Bridges, come on, keep running. Don't get caught. Don't get caught all the way. You thought Arkansas was out of this game, but we're right back in it because our defense is more efficient than our offense. I knew I liked Selman Bridges, man. If he ends up transferring, that's going to be our first real heartbreak of this series. I can't believe this game isn't completely over right now. It should be, and we could have even made a play with Larry Worth. Hard to bring the tight end down. I'd prefer if we could just prevent him from having any chance at it in the first place. So I was looking to watch him there. They had someone open. Bad throw and bad communication. So we're getting it back, and this is a comeback that's on. It could genuinely be 17-all at the end of this first half. Taylon Green breaks a tackle, makes a guy miss. You know, we might as well just say, no more throwing the ball for you today, buddy. It's time to run that football. The problem, though, is they're ready for it. I'm hoping the motion is going to get Cam free here. It's not. It's just not. Last time on that play, I tried to throw the comeback because it got open, but we didn't have enough time for it. So I looked for the underneath, and it means we're still going to be held scoreless on offense in this game. Austin Simmons was able to keep that. That's a dangerous play call right there. I need to figure out how we can get that one in our playbook. That was a really important tackle from our defense, though. I can only expect that they're about to run this football again, and we're bringing down 7 guys. I might even bring down 8, which we need. Let's wrap up. I'm calling a timeout. I want this football back. We are sitting in a lot of cover 3, though. I feel like at some point they're going to be able to pick up on that, which does scare me. There's too much time. I don't even want to click on, but it was Selman Bridges. He's a lockdown corner. Now the real question is, can we get enough blockers over to this part of the field? Got that answer pretty quickly. Taylon Green He's going to be looking for the hitch route, and he threw it. It's caught. I thought they might knock that ball loose. We don't have to get a touchdown. I'd be fine with 3. But we should have never run the football in the first place. I thought it might work out for a nice little gain for us, and it simply did not. We have 30 seconds to get 10 more yards. We're going to get them with the screen pass. Now I'm going to take a real shot down the field, and if they get off this line, we're going to have to break that first attempt, which we did. I don't know if Taylor Green's going to be able to make this throw, but he does. Every so often, he does something I'm super proud of. We can burn our final timeout. But our best offensive lineman, our 94 overall left guard, was injured. I'm hoping that is not permanent. It's just for the end of this half. I saw the pop-up before this kick. We have somehow made it to halftime, only down by 5. It felt like this game was over in the first quarter. I even almost gave up on it, but that would have been a huge mistake. We can't turn up field quick enough. And what we're banking on is we can hit Jaylen Brown immediately here, which we can. It's a great throw, and he catches it. This is the Taylor Green redemption arc after he really upset me. I like it, though. He did it last week. He has a chance to do it again. But that play might just need to come out of our playbook permanently. We're going to go to our best receiver on 3rd down, and he hangs on. Without Omega Blake, this offense would be in a whole different position. He's a real crutch, and if we can get off an audible, I think Braylon Russell is going to take major advantage of this gap. You can't come out with a 3-down line set and expect to stop him as he's at the 26. Now that we've run the football a few times, we're going to mix in a play action. We're going to see how they react to it. Not really what I was hoping for there. It's going to be 3rd and 10, where ideally we don't turn the ball over. We throw it, and we connect with Omega Blake. You know, we might actually be locked in right here. Man-to-man coverage, take our quick drag. Cam Shanks at the 2. You would think Ole Miss would have a pretty hard time keeping us out of the end zone here, and Braylon Russell gets closer. You know what? I think it's time. We go for 4 straight quarterback sneaks. We get the first. And I don't know how we have done this, but we have a lead. I do feel like getting this 2-point conversion, though, is really important. That ball is placed perfectly. Something has clearly happened to Taylor Green. I don't know if he realized some girl was in the stands or something, but he's on now. Whatever it is, I would love to see more of it this season. There's just no way they get a first down. It doesn't matter how many guys we had getting in pressure. We'd not wrap up good enough. This kid's quick. Ole Miss might be alive again for an offense that has been struggling. They have gotten some big gains, and then they just ran through a 300-pounder. Guess what, though? It's 3rd and 12. We can sit back and cover 3. They go underneath, and they're short. I'm just going with this safe field goal block. I can't risk giving up a penalty here. And that kick is going to hit off the upright. Ole Miss has had everything go wrong for them in this game, but I might have just given it right back. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Taylor Green's awful, by the way. That is on him. I don't know why he would throw it there. That was not man-to-man coverage only. There was another zone there, and that's what caused the pick. The worst part is when you stare at someone too, and then you still decide to throw the football. It's okay, though. We are going to be able to lock up this RPO and the last one, which has got me sitting here running Tampa 2 on 3rd and 11, and they just ran the football. I guess they're not going to trust their kicker, though. They're going to end this 3rd quarter or wait until the 4th quarter to remake that decision on what they're going to do, which I'm not sure how to feel about Lane Kiffin changing his mind, but it's all tied up. We have 1 quarter to win this rivalry. Throwing the football did not go well for us on our last drive, which is why we're sitting here running. I still feel like it's pretty ugly, though, which is why we're going to mix in the jet touch pass, and this is almost a defense that you would want to run against, but I'm so scared to audible and actually do it. If this doesn't work, it's a bad look, but you just see that we have the numbers. What are we doing on our tackle? I want a defensive line like this that's just going to shed immediately and mean that we can have a 3-down line set there. It's frustrating. It is really frustrating. After pulling off the comeback, we have gone cold in this game, and that's 10. I'm a little bit worried with who's going to get open on this play. They had way too many options. They are going to be inside our red zone. And this is feeling like a typical Arkansas loss. I'll tell you that right now. Is that a fumble? Come on. We're trying to change things here, though, which is why on 2nd down, we hang on. We use all the force we have to bring down their tight end, and we're just going to have to trust the freshman over the middle with the user. Austin Simmons makes the throw on the run, but we knocked them out short. Okay, this is a very shankable kick. We've seen it before. We're not going to see it here. A touchdown wins this rivalry on the road, though. It would mean so much to start the season 3-0. Omega Blake's got man-to-man coverage potentially on that outside. If it's cover 3, we're not going to throw it. If it's man-to-man, though, he can make that catch because he's a grown man. Disgusting read already to start this drive, though. Let's just go back to handing this off. If we can just roll out of the pocket, maybe some scrambling with Taylor Green could work out really well. I don't think that they're going to be able to catch him here. That's exactly what we were hoping for. And surely we can hold our blocks here. We can basically double team on everyone. Never mind, more guys came down to stop the run than I was thinking. We have a chance here, though. Braylon Russell gets caught. Just imagine the damage he would do, though, if he had like 5 more speed. I think we're going to have to scramble with Talon. I saw the man-to-man coverage, and I saw our opportunity. This is when the stadium pulse is going to get at its loudest. I decided Braylon Russell should get this carry. I'm going to keep the option to pull it on every single one of these runs, and we're going to get a great block to get the first. It at least seemed like a great block, but Omega Blake let go. At the very last second, I love a gaping hole. By this point, you have to understand, clock management is key. We are under a minute left in this game. Mike Washington Jr. at the 3. He has put us in a really good spot. This is the throw that Talon Green made an overthrow on, which is why I handed it off. Are we going to be able to hand this off and get in, though? I almost think we need to call a timeout and come out in a different play. I like the idea of Talon Green getting this football a lot more, which is why we're direct snapping it to him, and he takes the space. He has helped us somehow come out on top again. This season has been a roller coaster of emotions so far, but it's quiet now. Everybody in this stadium knows that even though the Rebels still are technically getting a chance at coming back, it's just not going to happen, right? Swat it, swat it. Good play. It's really sad for them, but they're going to be 0-3 to start the year. Lane Kiffin might be on the hot seat by the end of the season. We'll see what their record ends up being as we get through the rest of this year. The final play is caught. It is not enough, though, for Ole Miss to come out on top. We have won our first SEC game of the season, our first SEC game of this rebuild series. And Selman Bridges is going to get us our first defensive player of the week. The sophomore's got star development. He was a 4-star, and he cares about brand exposure, so I think we're going to be able to keep him around for most of his career. The more guys I see caring about brand exposure, though, makes me think we really, really need to keep raising this. I would love if we could get it up to an A-, but I think that's going to take winning a lot of games on TV. Then there's other school grades too, like playing style, that has just locked us out of 3 different 4-stars, 2 of them being linemen. It's not what you want to see. We just found another gem, though, in Ty Moffitt. We've had him on our board. I just didn't scout him yet. He's a linebacker with 87 speed, and I think we'll be able to get him. As for some other players around the country, I just found a 6'4" gadget receiver in Zach Forrest that we're going to be targeting. An 85 speed Zeke York is not going to be a gem, but I'd still love to get the tight end. We only have so many hours to spend, though, so it's about time that we return to playing through some of our games. We're about to go on the road at 3-0 Memphis before facing off against Notre Dame, who's dropped 2 matchups. And then after that, it is strictly just going to be SEC games where there's a couple winnable ones on here, but especially these last 3, all of them rivalries, it's going to be tough. Because we've started this season 3-0, we do have a chance at making a bowl game with Arkansas, but there's a lot that could still go wrong, and that starts here on the road at Memphis. I don't know much about this team, but I can guarantee going down 17-0 to start it would not be a good way to open it up. I don't think we can come back from that again. So I am really hoping that we just come out strong defensively and get them off the field. They got quarterback Brendan Lewis as their QB. I know I recognize that name. I just don't know where from. He's got to have played somewhere else before Memphis. We're about to see if he is good enough to take down an SEC school, though. So far, back-to-back runs is not helping out the Tigers at all. They're just going to go with a short pass underneath that we can wrap up on. So we have forced a very early 3-and-out, and we're starting this drive at midfield. First play for Talon Green is going to be a scramble. We had a touchdown, I think, actually. So maybe we go back to that later on in this game. Braylon Russell breaks that first tackle. But ever since that game against Arkansas State, his running vision has definitely fallen off of a cliff. But Talon Green, on the other hand, is still doing a lot. That is perfect. It's put us on the 10. But what we're going to hope for is that they return to some man-to-man coverage where we just threw it straight over that kid's head. Omega Blake reaches his way in, and that is how you open up a game. I feel like currently Arkansas football looks absolutely incredible. But I also know that even though we're 3-0, we could just as easily be 1-2. Here on 2nd and 5, they go with the handoff, and they've got themselves a good amount of yards. It is the first time Eric Peasant has had a good carry, and he's going to get a chance to have another one as he bounces off of 1 tackle. Senior Larry Worth III was not going to let him bounce off of another one, though, and they threw it at us. I feel like Brendan Lewis has looked pretty bad so far. That's why they've decided to let him run it on 3rd down. And if they can hit this kick, it was a smart decision because they set it up. I was able to see a lot of mismatches on our last drive, though. I feel like our receiving core can toast these corners. So I'm going to be rooting for a lot of man-to-man coverage throughout this game. We got Braylon Russell out on a halfback screen. Still not the player I want out there on the field for that, but he's going to break the first tackle. I think now is where we hit him with Jaden Platt over the middle, though they were prepared to stop it. I'm glad Mike Washington Jr. got 6. And the hot route that I want to get out there is finally going to go through. We got 2 reads to cycle between. The easy one is going to be Jaylen Brown underneath because Jaylen Brown is awesome. I think he's quietly sitting at like 30 catches through 3 games already. even though one of his weeks was not as big for us. Braylon Russell, though, had so much potential with that run, too. What's holding him back is the fact that he doesn't have top-end speed or acceleration. Once we face off against schools like LSU, Texas, that's where I'm wondering if he's even going to be decent, when they literally just have better athletes at basically every single position. Against Memphis, we can still make some stuff happen. It's probably a close call, but we might have the better roster on paper. And we got Shanks motioning over, but it's a distraction. I want to go to Omega Blake. If it's not there, we're going to have a flag, which means this whole play is going to be ruined. Might as well take a risk. I figured it was coming back, but they're just going to decline it. What we need to figure out, though, is how do you hit this kick without shanking it? I think if you kick it a little lighter, it shouldn't put as much power. I'm already sick of Scott Starzik, too, though, because that's the second time he's missed. Cameron Ball just went off, though, with that pressure. We tried to send in a corner blitz, and they dropped the catch. Memphis is awful right now. I don't know how this team is currently sitting at 3-0, but I'm feeling a lot more confident than I was. We just need to put together some good drives going back to the run, especially keeping options for Taylor Green to just pull it and keep it himself up the middle, or even just throwing the RPO and seeing if we can turn up field for a lot. We have controlled this game a lot better than any of the others so far. Braylon Russell is fighting for his life. He wanted that first down, and he wanted it bad. I will trust Jaylen Brown just because we have seen the jet touch pass work out before. And I didn't want to attempt a super long field goal, though with a late read here, I'm glad he swatted. Taylor Green's got to know that underneath, our tight end was open off the rip. There's already been a flag, but it's against Memphis. They must have been sitting offside, which is great. I think we got them pretty shook at the moment. Taylor Green, I think you got the speed to outrun that kid. Too bad that no one can stop him. I don't know what life would be like if I didn't have him at quarterback, even with the mistakes he has made. I guess we're going to figure that one out in Season 2. Inside cut, Omega Blake drops it. I don't get it. It's just hitting him in his hands, but we pump faked, and now we're going to be able to give him another chance. If you can figure out how to utilize pump fakes in this game, it can be so sweet. Jaylen Green gets in, and is Memphis going to be able to respond back to end this half or not? I just feel like they've done nothing that scares me offensively so far. They've had completions like this, which are nice, but if we can just get them on a third down, we've been getting all of those third down stops that we need. Coverage is looking incredible here. I should not be able to count to 6 or 7, though, before they have to make a read. That is on our defensive line. It's a clear area of this team that we need to improve upon, and I thought we had him. We make that tackle short of the marker, and this game's in a whole different position. Where did he come from? He just popped up out of nowhere. Underneath, Tavion Wallace can guard that. We can knock this loose. We just need one mistake out of Brendan Lewis. It's coming. It's got to be coming here. He throws it, and we can't put our hands on it. I feel like some of the play calling, though, has not been setting him up for as much success as he might be able to come away with. They stepped out. If they did not step out there, I think that might have been a touchdown. Why are you running? I guess they're centering things up for a field goal. We've just dropped everybody back into coverage, and we're going to try and get a sack. Instead, he scrambles, and Brendan Lewis puts this kick on a hash mark, but it doesn't make a difference. Still, though, an incredible first half. We have an 8-point lead. I think we get the ball to start the third quarter, and it's going to be with a Jaylen Brown return that goes nowhere. Stadium Pulse is kicking in a little bit. They're going to try and come out and spook us in this third quarter. We get the pitch out. Braylon Russell's juke is ugly. If we can just upgrade that, which is going to be one of my priorities, assuming he doesn't transfer, that's going to be something I really want to focus on in the offseason. It always slows him down, which is not very useful. Keeping things on the ground, though, I see a huge hole, and I will be looking for him on third and short. Nobody decided to guard him in the flat, which is wonderful because Mike Washington Jr. was the one that came down with it. I'm actually loving how our offense is looking in this game. Even if we haven't put up that many points so far, Taylor Green is going to get us near that red zone, and I'm wondering if they're going to give us a cover 2 look in this situation. Oh, we got this. We got this with Jaylen Brown. Never mind. Maybe Taylor Green and him were not sitting there on the same page. What a truck from Braylon Russell, fighting to the 5. And we're going straight back to him. I don't care if there's a read option here. Let him run through another dude. It might be time to pull out some play action since we've run the ball a lot on this drive. Taylor Green rolls, and he's going to throw it into an interception. You've got to be kidding. I don't know why he thought that that kid wouldn't make a play on the ball. He was staring straight at it. But the worst part is that's not getting spotted at the 1-yard line. Here on 2nd and 8, they get it out quick. We make the tackle. And I think Memphis's play calling is that bad to where I'm still not worried about anything that they're going to do versus us. I got to stop talking. How did we miss a tackle? How did we not get a single fingertip on this kid? And he just sheds the next one. You know, the worst part about this game is it looks like it was over. and then we threw an interception, and now they're within 2. Can Arkansas football ever just get a break and have a nice, easy win? The pressure has kicked in. Stadium Pulse has kicked in, but we have an open Jalen Platt. Now we're going to hit them with the halfback toss, and running out to that side, Braylon Russell gets caught. See, there's just so much potential right there. If we could get somebody on this team that is a lot quicker. It's all right, though. We're going to get them with the play action, and honestly, I don't see anything open here. If Taylon Green can make a play out of this, by the way, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but he can't. If I could pull that off on these sliders and difficulty, it'd be a major problem. That should have been a pick. I didn't think the linebacker could see the ball, though. I thought we were just going to make the greatest throw of all time. Thankfully, we're able to get to Cam Shanks. Let's just go back to handing this off, doing what we do best, some good blocking. And I will say, I don't love this Arkansas playbook. Like this RPO right here, it's just not as quick of an out route from the tight end. If he just immediately went to the flat, there would just be so much more potential out of it. Braylon Russell is somehow still going. And for a split second, I just audible do a pass because it's a bad habit, but I'm like, why would we do that? We have to keep on running the football. It is clearly what is working for us. 2 possession lead, 7 minutes left. Things are feeling a lot better. That was a quick strike for Memphis, though, and they're going to be able to hit us with another. You know, for the passes that Brendan Lewis has actually gotten to make, he's 14 for 17. It's not like he's doing poorly. It's one of the better quarterback percentages that we've had to face off against. They just haven't been able to score very much. This is where they struggle the most, being able to finish off these drives. And I trust our numbers up front to prevent them from getting into the end zone here. It was not enough, though, which means 5 minutes left. That's a lot of time for us to choke away this game. But I see something I like already. I just love the alignment I'm staring at. Are we going to get this throw out with Taylon Green? Jalen Brown runs underneath it. There was a linebacker matched up on him, and he can celebrate his way in. The Tigers just gave us the perfect look. I mean, we almost just got a pick as well. You could try and argue there were a couple guys open there, but I feel like if they tested any of our guys, we would have gotten it. Their tight end's currently their best receiver with 10 catches for 86 yards, but that's just not enough to beat us. Come on, grab that. Here we go. 4th and 7. I'm stuck on Boone. They're just going to send up a prayer that we can swat away. Surely we tipped it. And senior safety, Caleb Wooden, getting a hand on that, not going for the interception, but just making sure that they didn't catch it was huge. Basically, one more first down, and Memphis is just going to have to be going home, accepting that they're not going to be able to beat Arkansas. It has been nice to play a team that just cannot stop the run. Taylon Green keeps this one, and he's going to be short. He fumbled. This is not good. This is not good. They get the cleanest running lane of all time as well. Are we getting gashed? Are we getting gashed by Peasant? Okay, they only have 1 timeout left. Let's calm down. I don't think we're blowing this game, even though it's only 2 points. We just need to recover this onside kick, get over to the ball, scoop it up. That's all that we needed out of Jalen Brown. Obviously, a first down ends it, which would be extremely nice. But look at how much time is left. They have no timeouts. We don't even need a first down, but we're going to take it and just stay in bounds. Oh, well, Braylon Russell wanted an extra couple yards. We are 4-0 with Arkansas. I was not expecting that for season 1. I figured we would for sure lose at least 1 or 2. But this has been the easiest part of our season, and we're about to play Notre Dame. Before we can play that game, though, we have some updates to our recruiting board. Alex Merriman still in first place for. Also, we can start the hard sell on one of those 5 stars. We did end up staying locked out from those players, and we lost a battle to Tennessee, but we signed our first 4-star. I also can't figure out what Jordan Beach cares about. It's either going to be playing time proximity to home and brand exposure, or it's going to be playing time pro potential and brand exposure. I'm really hoping that it's this one. We're going to take that guess, and I'd also like to schedule him for a visit against Mississippi State. I know that they're not the best team in the world, so if we're going to win against someone, I think it'd be them. Currently, even as an undefeated team, we're not sitting inside the top 25. These 3-1 SEC schools are, though, and if we go over to more information, you're going to see we're not even receiving votes. Evidently, our strength of schedule has not been good enough for the committee. I can see that Notre Dame has lost on the road to Miami and against Texas A&M as well, which is a little concerning. I thought they were sitting at 1-2 because they had lost to some weak team, but that's not the case. We get to host them. They're going to come to our stadium, and they're a 91 overall. You can see with some of these fans that there is hope starting to kick in for this Razorbacks team, and it seems like Notre Dame is going to start this game with 20 yards. Of all the quarterbacks that we still have to face the rest of this season, I feel like CJ Carr is just not that intimidating, but the roster around him is, and he's completed every pass. On 2nd and 8, I'm expecting them to hand it off at some point. but they just got us with another RPO. Jeremiah Love's just getting no love so far, but he's actually going to keep this ball right here. And this is a problem. Oh, he's going to be a problem. Guess what, though? Notre Dame has missed their extra point, which means we score, we're in front. That run had nowhere to go, though. Hopefully, Braylon Russell can get something here. It is really nice to not be dealing with Stadium Pulse this week, but they're stopping it. Whenever Mike Washington Jr. has been on the field so far, we've had no success on the ground, which is why I've decided to throw. Cam Shanks will make it a 3rd and short. And I had an RPO drawn up for this, but we're probably just going to have Mike Washington Jr. not pick it up. We are at the 46-yard line, though, and through coach suggestions, Sam Pittman decided he wanted to go for it here, which was a smart move from us. We will take the 1st down. We'll let Taylon Green get a chance at a lot of running room, too. They got the ball. You know, he was not fumbling on runs, so I wasn't thinking about sliding ever. He's normally the bigger player whenever they're trying to make a tackle, but clearly we need to start sliding. That extra couple of yards was not worth it. Now Notre Dame is just lasering our defense apart. We are getting torched right now, and it's another RPO. This is looking worse than how Ole Miss started, and that one started rough. We look hopeless out there, but we've not played a team of Notre Dame's caliber yet. This is kind of what I was expecting. It just took a little bit to get here, but you know what? We figured it out against the Rebels. I'm sure we'll figure it out against the Irish. We just got to keep things simple, have some runs, go our way, where Braylon Russell goes to midfield. And if there's one player they have not been able to contain, it's been him, so we're going to keep on feeding it. We let him get a break for one play, and now he's back out there, going right up the middle. But we still want to mix in some passing plays, and I think we could hit our flat. So far, Jeremiah Love has been the better back. He had one carry that made me pray that they never hand him the ball again in this game. We don't have the speed against the Irish. I just cannot be running to the outside there. We're going to try and go with the pump fake, get enough time, and then just scramble with Taylon Green, which has worked out. We're not going to be able to pull off a stiff arm. But I can't believe that even worked out in the first place. I was just going to be patient and then throw it to one of our routes. This is what we needed. We needed the hope. I think Jaylen Brown could get open there. If not, Mike Washington Jr. And I'm going to keep on giving opportunities for Jaylen Brown to catch that RPO. This is where our 94 overall left guard's going to need to make his difference. We are going to fight our way in with Braylon. And just like that, our fans are starting to feel a little bit better. Now, we have given them absolutely nothing to hope for on the defensive side of the ball. It's definitely been a struggle to stop the Irish. But I don't know what the solution is. CJ Carr is the best quarterback we faced all year. And now Jeremiah Love has a carry. There we go. I think what we want to run into is run-heavy teams because the pass-heavy ones are just so difficult to stop. But maybe not. They're finally not playing perfectly. Their slants open here. We left a hitch, and they'll have to take 3. I will say, though, I think a lot of these tackle animations so far have looked absolutely horrendous. Whatever physics-based 2.0 system they were testing on this game, I hope for the next one, they either fix it or go away from it. The hit sticks still look really good, and they feel really good whenever you get a full power one, but there's just a lot of funky animations. It makes those good plays, just not worth it. Just what I'm picking up on the second time I'm playing every single game. And look at Jaylen Brown right here. We're going to see how he gets bumped by that corner. Slants there. Just catch it. Come on. You know, this should be a layup for Taylon Green, but he threw it at his feet. So we have to punt it back to Notre Dame. Keeping it realistic. You're not going to go for it on 4th and 5 there. And let's get this fan base rocking. You got Mo Bamba blasting. We need to get some momentum going our direction. You're going underneath Jeremiah Love. He's scary. Like, he might be the most intimidating player we have faced all year so far, especially with a good offensive line. That first carry was just so crazy for a touchdown. I am terrified of it happening again. We were so close to bringing down CJ Carr as well there. Okay, 3rd and 10. We're going to go with the cover 3 cloud, and they just get Jeremiah Love open, but that's fine. With a timeout, we can get back into it. They are punting it out of bounds, though. They clearly did not want to risk a Jordan Anthony punt return, and I was so tempted there to just throw it immediately up the seam. But what we've done instead, oh no, that's a bad read. I hit the wrong button. You know, if we didn't have an extender on Taylon Green, by the way, that wouldn't have even been possible. We're going to stand in the pocket forever to find nobody. Braylon Russell's literally begging them to snag an interception, and we're going to be able to hit Omega. That route is actually so filthy right there. We're going to get to him again just because I was hoping we'd have the blockers underneath. He still made something out of it. And with a minute left in this first half, they're just sending 3. Which is good if we are able to hook up with Jaden Platt, who just missed a tackle somehow, finds his way into the end zone. We're back within 2. I think Notre Dame might just try and take this one to halftime. They're going to hand it off to Jeremiah Love, who has nowhere to go. And I don't know why we even came out with somewhat of a blitz play here. it wasn't really worth it. They are still taking timeouts, something I'm pretty surprised by. They're not running the football. They want to get points before the end of this first half, but they just can't. Home field advantage kicking in for Arkansas. We might have a chance to go 5-0. Come on. We felt hopeless at the beginning, but now we're actually making some stuff happen. I feel really comfortable just sitting there in the pocket with Taylon Green because of his ability. Whether I see something there or not, I think we're going to be able to hit this throw at the last second. When they're sending 3 players, they're just not getting any pass rush pressure. Though right here, he did not fall for the play action, and it did not matter. It did not matter. We run under it with Braylon Russell. We are going to be able to kick our field goal and go up 17-16. We have figured it out. We have figured out the method. You just give Taylon Green a bunch of time. He makes something happen. Jordan Anthony gets caught. But let's go. Let's see how many players they send, what Taylon Green can do with this much time back there, because our offensive line is doing a fantastic job, and we can always scramble too. He currently is Heisman extender activated, so he's going to break that first sack attempt every time. It's so nice. We can have play action on plays. I'm not even worried about it. We're going to have a wide open Jaden Pratt, and we've seen Dagger work extremely well for us in the past. Here, it's going to work again, though he took way too long to dial up that throw. Probably should just hand this one off to Braylon Russell. I see that we had a hole, but that did not work out. It is 3rd and 9, and we have someone. A 57-yard field goal with the freshman kicker should be scary, but he actually has a slower field goal accuracy thing than I was expecting. I think it's an ability, so we're going to doink it in. Scott Starzik is a monster. Jeremiah Love sheds a couple, but I've really figured out that as long as they're not throwing the ball, he's not as scary. I'd much rather that than CJ Carr just dotting us up every single play. He is going to throw this one at us, and that's not enough. The best part about this game too is I made the sliders even harder than they already were, and we're still winning. I'm going to give Arkansas fans way too much hope for this season that they probably should not have. Can we hit? Can we hit Jaden Platt? No, we cannot. It's okay. 2nd down with Braylon Russell on a counter has potential for some really impressive blocks. And I think that we could get off a huge play here. It'll just depend what the defense has given us. And we're still up. That hurts. If he didn't get his hands on us at that exact moment, we could have gone deep. But look at Omega Blake getting open, making a play. We're on fire. We're on a streak with the Razorbacks. And let's see what they're going to do. Man-to-man coverage. That's fine. Omega Blake drops it. That animation just bugs me every single time. I do not like seeing it. I'm going to throw a pick. They didn't catch it. Oh my gosh. For whatever reason, I didn't think that linebacker was dropping back. I saw the cover 2 and I thought we were just going to split it. I will gladly take a field goal and a 7-point lead. Here on 1st and 10, they get it out quick, but that's a solid tackle. You cannot complain about how our defense is currently playing, and they just threw it straight to Scandrett. We're making a pick 6 potentially. No, they got us. Does it really matter though? Arkansas is in a position to beat Notre Dame, to be 5-0. And keep in mind, we had players on a visit. I would really hope that this would at least get us receiving some votes, but we should be ranked. I know we've gotten kind of lucky that some of the difficult teams on our schedule haven't been hot at the moment we play them. That's definitely factored into some of this. But even if we cannot pick up this 3rd and 3, we are going to be in field goal range, take a 2-possession lead, and I'm feeling better than ever about us taking another dub, this time over the Fighting Irish. We're still up. That is with Mike Washington Jr. too, so you would not expect him to be making that type of play. They can't tackle Taylon Green. I was just trying to throw it away that entire time. We should probably step up, make sure that we can kick a field goal. Though, if he can pick up the 1st down, we're going to fight for it. We have a 6'6" kid at quarterback with 90 speed. I will risk that fumble every single time as he does it almost again. We are going to be in a good position as we head into our 7 SEC games, and we're getting closer. Braylon Russell actually injured that defender right there. That's how big of a dude he is. He's hard to bring down. Mike Washington Jr. isn't getting in. But guess what? Braylon Russell's back out there, and we have a 94 overall guard I'm trying to run behind. We've had a lot of turnovers in this position, though, on the 1-yard line. So what I'm going to do is just throw a hard pass over to our backup tight end. And Rohan Jones might have just helped us seal our most impressive win so far. I don't want to jinx it, but I just don't see him coming back. What's really going to help out the Irish, though, is they're probably going to throw the ball a lot more than they were. Like I said, in the first half, when they were passing, not running, it was extremely difficult for us to stop. Though currently, all of our guys are locking down. There is a lot to be proud of at the moment. Are we going to get a pick out of this? We're not. What I don't know, though, is who's next on the schedule, whether or not we get to play at home or not, because I think having this home field advantage really has made a difference. We've been keeping the fans pumped up all game. We got a top 25 stadium to play at, and it's about to be 4th and 3. All right, we're going to press here. We are going to try our best to not give up anything underneath, because that's probably where they're going to look. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I didn't think they'd come out in 4 verticals. I wasn't expecting them to go deep. It's fine, though. We still have our 7-point lead. We should be able to chew this clock pretty far down. I like that we're going to be able to just truck through 1, maybe even 2. That's what I should have been doing this entire time with Braylon Russell. 2nd and 11, we're just going to go quickly out to our tight end, and Rohan Jones has been the best backup we could have asked for. It is not over yet. They still have the 2-minute warning to stop the clock once, but we can get rid of a lot of time. I'd much prefer if Braylon Russell just broke off one more super big and impressive run, but I also know if we're smart, we waste every possible second that we can. It's going to be hard for them to do anything. Now, this clock's run down really far. It got to 1 second left. I almost messed that up right there. And here we go. 29 seconds left. That short drag will not help. By the time they get this spike off, they'll be under 20 seconds. So all we want to do is keep backing everybody up and force them to make some underneath throws like that. I know we've had a Hail Mary happen for us on our side of things, but as long as they don't get a first down here, it's over. They're not going to be able to get off another snap. I can't believe it. Once again, bad start, but we bounced back hard in that 2nd quarter, and we've picked up our 5th win of the season. I can only expect that we're going to sign at least a couple of recruits too, since we had multiple guys on a visit. There's Keontae Brown. But look at how many players that want to transfer still. This number's actually gone up, even though we've been performing better on the field. During this time in recruiting, though, I have discovered that some of these linemen that we are going after is 4 stars. 2 of those 3 are busts, so I'm not even sure if I want to enter into those battles. And we are going to stay locked out of Rick Busby and Rashad Casey, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove both of these players from our board. Before our bye week, we'd only picked up 3 signings, but then Alex Merriman committed. And that's not the only talent we brought in either. We also got 4-star defensive tackle Kevin Crum out of Arkansas. We kept him in the state in our program. With 4-star edge Troy Shelby coming along soon too, I told you we wanted to improve our defense, and then at corner, both Tim Ball and Jordan Beach were staying in first place for it, though Georgia might be able to take away this gym. And before we get into the toughest part of our season, where we play 7 straight SEC games, I want you to take a look at the bottom of the top 25 that we have been able to rise up into. It has been a very good season so far. Lots of close wins. That's 4 straight close wins for us, but we've been able to pull them out. And if you look at our schedule, we don't play a ranked opponent until these final 3 games. We have to know that all of those teams are still going to be a challenge, though. It's been interesting to see how the SEC has played out. Teams like Mississippi State and Kentucky doing this well. It just doesn't make that much sense. But I am very excited for where we're currently sitting because, like I said, my main goal for season 1 is just get Arkansas to a bowl game. We can have a lot of momentum, and I think we can do a lot better than that now. It is a little scary to change up expectations mid-season because we know we have a lot of tough games coming up, like playing at Tennessee on the road. But I just have to have faith that we're going to continue to pull off some really impressive wins. Tennessee's best offensive player is tight end Miles Kitselman. So preventing him from having a big game is going to be my #1 focus, and that's a bad pass. Joey Aguilar has already been off target once. On 3rd and 12, I was responsible for being manned up on the running back, but I should have still shadowed the tight end. I told you, he was going to be a problem, and with the veer and shoot offense Tennessee runs, it's very difficult to stop. They even like to stay in hurry-up mode, which drives me insane. You can notice they have not done any running so far. It's all been passes. We'll see if we can finally get a stop, though. We had a hard flat out there. And guess who's still up? I can almost guarantee this will be my least favorite team to face every single season as long as they're on our schedule. Way too much time back there in the pocket, by the way. How? Joey Aguilar was going to scramble, so he tried to bring him down, but then he gets the pass out perfectly in time, and they have their slant. This is how our games have started against the better teams on our schedule, though, and then we end up figuring things out. By now, I just can't let it mess with us mentally. Though that needed to work. Having a bunch of failed halfback screens is pretty frustrating, but we can hit our tight end. The stadium pulse so far has not been too bad, but we can't make this defender miss. I'm gonna hopefully just be able to hit Blake underneath, except I guess not. He's just gonna drop the football on us, making this a 3rd and 12, where I told you rolling out was gonna be a big part of our game plan, but we're not gonna make the catch. This is also the first time that we have gotten the white meter. It just shows how powerful Tennessee Stadium Pulse is going to be. Not a great sign for us, especially if they're getting a return. We just got to take this game one step at a time, though. That first step is going to be forcing them into a mistake. It does not help that our zones just got flipped before the play, but we got over here with Walker. And when are they going to get out of hurry up mode? This is like impossible to stop. I currently feel hopeless, and they're not even running the ball, which if they did, they'd probably find some good success there too. Maybe we can start sending in some blitzes and hope that it gets in, but it didn't. They're in the end zone. Their receiving core is dicing apart our secondary. We're also cold. I can't even hot route despite having a potential to beat them deep due to their pressing. But Braylon Russell had a nice little carry there. And I was going to hit our drag, but they have somehow been able to keep up with it there. Jalen Platt must not be as good as I'm sitting here thinking he is. We might want to look for a better tight end, even better than him, during the offseason. Look at this play, though. Taylor Green putting us right back in it. We're still keeping things on the ground. It just won't work forever, which is why we also needed to be mixing in some passes, and we're not going to break the sack. I know that should not be a guarantee. I just can't remember a time where we didn't break that first sack attempt. On third down, we're not picking it up. We should have at least tried to get in field goal range. In fact, we were in field goal range, and then we ended up messing it up. But look at where we're pinning them back. If we were ever going to stop them, this would be the time. We know that they're going to hand off the football so we can fill that hole. And on 2nd and 9, they've decided to pass it, but it wasn't on target. That was pretty scary. Whenever they're coming out with such a spread look, it just allows them to split apart our cover 3. Finally, though, their receivers are not playing perfect football. They have made some mistakes, and that is where we got to take advantage of it. This is our drive to get things back within a possession. We're going to start with a drag route to Jalen Brown. Then we're going to go with a run on a halfback draw, but they sent a blitz on it. And I'm prepared to scramble for a first down if I need to, but they just locked us up. They got a clean blitz in. Literally, nobody is getting open. I don't even know who to trust on this play. We're just going to hope that is far enough. Okay, so this one not going our way like some of the other games this season, especially since we're not getting a hand on that football. But eventually, they're going to have to slow down offensively. We have noticed teams slowing down as the game goes on. They come out strong, and then once they get complacent, they don't do as well. For example, Deshaun Bishop has 5 carries for 5 yards, so he's not running the ball well. We can just deflect this one away. Maybe I should have gone for an interception because they're going to get a field goal out of it. But honestly, I'm just happy that we didn't get aggressive catch there and they got a touchdown out of it because that would have ruined any hope I had in this game. Jordan Anthony has given us that extra spark as well because he's gotten his 2nd kick return of the year. I've been waiting for a play like this. I think he might win the Jet Award too. We really only need half-decent blocks on a kickoff, and then he's going to be able to just take it to the house. Just a couple seconds after I was speaking badly about their running back's yard per carry, though, he gets his biggest play yet. I don't know what they're going to go with at all. I was kind of expecting another run after some of the success they've had. But I guess they have been 65% pass, 35% run. We're going to get out to the flat on 3rd down. I hope they're not in field goal range. This is perfect. This is what we do. We end the 2nd quarter strong, and then we get ourselves back into the game. Jordan Anthony having an incredible play is what's going to spark it in this one. There's always something that gets us going initially, but what are we doing? We haven't had a single halfback screen go our way so far in this game. I think we're just going to scramble for the first down. I can't trust anything else. This is not a good spot to be in, where Taylor Green is literally doing everything for this team. Receiving-wise, they've literally put Omega Blake on an island. We're not going to be able to get out of there either. I was trying to be patient. We got caught up. 3rd and 20. I mean, that's just such great coverage. We're currently 4 for 11, and our punt was not great. I guess we should have ended the first half by running it a little bit more. I've never seen that animation before. Tennessee is so on point right now that before they slip on the ground, they're catching themselves. And let's see, are we going to be able to stop the run here? I knew it was probably coming. I mean, what do you do? 2 plays, 45 yards since I talked bad about Deshaun Bishop. He is just cooking us. And are they going to test the user? It was out of reach. Okay, so to stay in this game, we need to get 3 points before the end of the first half. We really need this to be a 2-possession matchup. But Taylor Green isn't making a throw. I don't know why I'm so scared to throw versus Tennessee right now, but I really am. We're going to use this play, though, one that typically gets us some pretty big gains, and it's out of reach. Just an awful ending to the first half. I don't think they're going to try and get any more points. They should just run the ball. But they're throwing. They're trying to still get a little bit more. Welcome to the worst first half that we have had all season with Arkansas here on the road. Mike Matthews has had a really good game, 3 touchdowns for him, and we have only been able to get on the board through kick returns. Is the blocking going to line up again, though? No. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Probably not going to happen again. Okay, I have to watch it back. There's just no shot I saw what I just saw. I need to know why Mike Washington Jr. avoided this kid and then let him just run around behind all our linemen to get this sack. We are facing some real demons here at Tennessee. Can't even say I'm surprised. It's going to be 3rd and 16, and all I even know to do in this situation is just hope that we can get a playmaker to work out, which it's going to. Oh my gosh, we're not out of it yet. I saw our tight end there as well, by the way. I just didn't trust that we'd be able to actually get open. I figured the throw would be off target or something, and then we would have thrown an interception. But look at that. We cannot run the ball at all. We're going to take a deep shot down the field. You know, there's just times where I knew we'd be outclassed, and we should be. This is the first of many years of an Arkansas rebuild, but it's been tough. The night game on the road has been a completely different environment we've not had to deal with, and I just feel like they're doing all of the right things. What do you want me to say? And of course, they're in hurry up mode. When have you ever seen a player come back from this, a tackle on one leg? All momentum is saying this kid's just going to the ground. I don't know. I don't know what balance they're teaching over at Tennessee, but somehow, he just stayed on his feet and shed the tackle. I'm telling you, you think the Chiefs have some dark magic going on over there? It is nothing compared to what Tennessee's been working with in this game. And you might as well just take the touchdown here. You might as well. There's still 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, but I believe there's no hope. We've overcome a lot here, mainly because we've doubted ourselves. So I'm going to continue to doubt ourselves. But we currently look like a peewee football team taking on one of the best teams in the state. That's what we have looked like in this game, especially on the offensive side of the ball, though there have been some flashes. Typically, though, those flashes lead to so much more than what they've done in this game for us so far. And I don't even love this play call, but we're going to run it anyway, and we're going to try and make this catch. The good thing is the stadium pulse effect is gone. There's just not as much on the line. There's absolutely zero pressure. This game is over, but we still might be able to take the top off of their defense, except Taylon Green overthrew him. 2 plays to pick up the first down. First one is going to be a scramble, and we're just going to blast out of there and taunt him on our way out. I don't think that's what you're supposed to do down by 24, but let me take the small victory that was. And are they going to pick this? Please don't pick it. Could have been a touchdown. Instead, it's going to be 2nd down, and he stopped his route, but it kind of worked. Here we go. 3rd and 4, halfback angle route. We're going to look at the drag. I'm afraid without any route runners, though, man-to-man coverage is currently our biggest weakness. Come on. Please, just make the throw. Taylon Green can't redeem himself for this one after some of these passes. It's just going to get worse. Joey Aguilar is 288 passing yards in with 4 touchdowns and no picks. The only good news I can possibly think of is next weekend, we get to have a home game, so we should play better, but they just destroyed our cover 2. They just annihilated it. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. This is one of the worst possible outcomes that we could have had. There's nothing positive we can take away from this game. There's no hope anymore. It's just been missed throw after missed throw. I have never seen Taylon Green play worse. And even if it still feels like, yeah, we might be able to get points on this drive, I can basically promise you that something is probably going to go wrong here, though I liked seeing our tight end in one-on-one coverage. At this moment, offense still been held scoreless. Blocks aren't all there. And if this is man-to-man coverage, one of these 2 slants have to get open, but there's somebody lurking. All right, here we go. 4th and 4. Any hope left to get some points in this game? It's caught. It's caught. That really should not have been caught. We actually just got bailed out, but I'll take it. 2-point conversion now. We're just going to wait. Tight end open. No, he was not open. They caught it. I don't even know why I did that. Is that going to go far enough, though? It did. Did we scoop it up? We did. I don't think I've gotten an onside kick in so long on this game. Okay, all of a sudden, I'm feeling so good. We got a comeback coming. It is possible. I say that down 4 possessions with like 5 minutes left, but just trust the process. We can hit that window. We can hit it. I love how much more confident Taylon Green plays when there's just no fear or punishment for throwing picks. We even got a flag there, which is helping us out. But I really wish we would have played better sooner because, like, come on. I don't even know how to describe what is happening to this team right now. Besides, we are getting absolutely cooked. But that was a great throw. Jalen Pratt makes the diving catch. We saw that man-to-man coverage, and I figured out my strategy for an onside kick. So what we want to do is we want to put a lot of power on it and just have it roll by. But that one did not go as far as the last one, so I must not have done something the same way. This could still be the greatest comeback of all time. If we just didn't mess up a couple of those other drives, it would be potentially possible, but I thought they were going to run the football. There is nothing more that needs to be seen out of this game, and I mean, they should be getting a pick off of this because it was a bad meter, and it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. You might as well just add Tennessee to the list of rivals in this thing because they're running up the score when the game is over. What just happened here at Neyland Stadium will never happen again. We're never going to lose by 32 points to Tennessee. Joey Aguilar, someone I doubted going into this, was the best quarterback we have played yet. At least Troy Shelby saw that performance and decided, I still want to help out the team from Arkansas in a state that I grew up in. I'm still going to commit there. But we are going to fall behind on 5-star corner Jordan Beach. Georgia's taking the lead, and we're going to get him on a visit in Week 10 against Mississippi State. I just think by then it's going to be too late. We also fell behind on this Jim, Ty Moffitt, because he was at Tennessee. He was at the game where we got obliterated. That was the worst time for him to be on a visit there. Now we're going to be taking on Texas A&M in the Southwest Classic. This could potentially be our most important game of the year. It was hard for me to figure out which rivalry Arkansas fans really care about the most. It seems to vary based on who the fan is. I'm sure LSU is also one of them. I'll tell you this though, just knowing how good the Aggies roster is on paper, I'm pretty scared. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak in this series, and the stadium pulse not affecting them so far. I need Marcel Reed to make a lot of mistakes in this game. On 2nd and 9, we're stuck in a cover 3 where I'm on the defensive line, but it looks like we were about to get the sack. And this is what I was expecting out of our defense against Tennessee, though Larry can't get over. I got stuck on a player. I was like 99% sure too that they were going to throw a flag. A couple plays later, it's 3rd and 4. And I still think using Larry's the best thing that we could do here, as they can't make the play. Taylor Green's not the only inaccurate quarterback in the SEC. Marcel Reed also missing his passes. And if we're not going to be chasing points in this game, we can do a better job of trying to just run that football. I think we went away from it way too soon against the Volunteers, and that was part of the issue. We got 2 guys that we can swap in and out that both have a lot in the tank, plus we have Taylor Green as a 3rd option. He was trying to slide there, but it was still a little bit too late. Doesn't matter though if we're getting a huge gain out of Braylon Russell. Now Mike Washington Jr. comes in after not doing anything. I was kind of expecting him to bust off a big one, but we can hit them with some play action that we're not that open on. There was a point in this season where Omega Blake was getting open versus man-to-man coverage no matter what. That's no longer the case. It was a nice period though. If they do happen to go with man-to-man here, I am hoping that he can get that separation, which he had. Those blitzes are so fast though. I pump fake to the hitch. I should have thrown it originally, and we're going to go for it. Taylor Green has not failed us on a quarterback sneak so far. He can pick this up. He's 6'6". We're trucking. And of course, we're just going to run this back until we eventually get in. We got our 7-0 lead. Marcel Reed's coming out with a keeper on this first play, this drive, and he might be gone. Come on. This is your time to catch him, Bridges. Not whiff on a tackle. It's a quarterback. That's the first time this season he has let us down. That was almost instant too. They just had their response ready. And as bad as I want this screenplay to work, if it doesn't, we won't call any the rest of the year, but I feel like they're still going pretty well. I think we just got unlucky with them a couple of times in a row. I feel like some of the luck that we had at the start of this season though is starting to run out. Taylor Green has somehow been able to just avoid everyone here. But I cannot do this next season. I'm not sure what we're going to do about the fact that we just don't have an option at quarterback right now. I'm genuinely scared about that. The portal is going to have to treat us very nicely. That looked bad. I thought it was man-to-man, and I thought we were going to take a sack. So I just pre-fired, and I'm going to pre-fire here as well. We can go for that catch. It did not work, though. Keep it with the keeper, and both quarterbacks can run this ball. They've easily already combined for over 125 yards in this game. It's going to be a run-heavy day for both us and Marcel Reed. I feel like wear and tear has not affected us that bad either, which has been nice because I was kind of worried it would. For 3rd and inches, maybe this is a situation where you just go with a quarterback sneak. I'm regretting the fact that we didn't now, and I'm so scarred from our last game that I'm just going to take our points and be happy that we're in it. No matter what, 5-1 for Arkansas is just an incredible start to this first year, for sure. But I no longer believe this is just a 6-win team. I think we could get to 8. If we stumbled to 9 somehow too, that would put us in the playoffs, which you would never expect. It just doesn't take that much as an SEC school, which is nice. Maybe we can force a fumble. I'm going to keep going for these hit sticks. If we do that a couple more times, I'm sure they're not going to continue to use Marcel Reed like that. We got to get off of the tackle. and somehow he just slips out. That's going to be a big stat that we need to focus on upgrading this offseason too. I know our coverage needs focus, but if we just had better tackling, I feel like there's a lot of times where we could have gotten stops on drives that we didn't. It's also ridiculous. Marcel Reed threw that ball into double coverage, staring straight at our user, and we weren't able to grab that pick. It was the worst read of the entire game, and since Tavion Wallace doesn't have good catching, he didn't get punished for it. Le'Veon Moss is in the end zone. He broke 3 tackles. He is running like a beast. I mean, we've seen Braylon Russell do it multiple times this year, so I can't even get upset because we've benefited from that same type of stuff. But there is a pressure to finish this first half strong, and I love the hole that we're getting with Eric Washington Jr. From the looks of it, this is either going to be cover 3, cover 1. If it's cover 3, we're probably going to have to roll out and just get rid of it. We didn't really have the time to cook up the way that I would have liked, but quick slant, and it's a bad pass. Taylon Green's got to keep that down. We could have had another 10, 15 yards after the catch. This one swatted, but I don't care. We've come out for a 4th and 3. I was going to run a jet touch pass, but an inside zone feels even better. I mean, look at this look we're getting. We're going to motion him over. I guess we can't snap the ball while we do that. Oh, well, what we're going to do is we're going to double team this guy on the edge because he's got star on him. And then we're going to hike this ball, and we're going to make sure that we pick up the first down. Just terrible play calling from the Aggies. Great for us, though, because it's given us this chance to get a touchdown still. Before I saw what defensive look they were going to give us, I was sitting there shaking. Now, we're going to risk a pick. It reminds me that Jaylen Brown's not been that great the last couple weeks, but look at Taylon Green fumbling it. It wasn't even off of a big hit either. They were just able to somehow get a hand on that football and knock it loose. Come on. For a second there, I thought we were about to give up a touchdown run to Texas A&M to end the first half. We're lucky we're only down by 4. I mean, personally, I feel like we should have a lead. That drive was going so well until that fumble, but we still got the second half. It's far from over. Currently, between us and the Aggies, we've combined for over 300 rushing yards in one half of football. We got to keep it up. I might try and throw it here just because I want to get Cam Shanks involved. Up until that moment, he hasn't had a great chance to do much, and a quarterback draw is going to get us a good bit. What I should probably do is make a formation sub to make sure that this is no longer Russell in for this play. It just doesn't fit him as well as Mike Washington Jr. Let's just look underneath on this 3rd and 2, though. We're going to trust that Cam Shanks catches the football. And since he didn't catch the football, guess who is out there ready to punt this football away and not pin them back anywhere besides like the 25. You know, while we have some hours to spend in recruiting, I should probably look for a kicker and a punter just to develop over time. Le'Veon Moss is going off. Le'Veon Moss is going off in this game. Bring him down. He currently has 7 carries for 142 yards. He's averaging over 20 yards per carry. All of a sudden, Nicholas Singleton, what he was doing isn't an issue. I am far more intimidated by Le'Veon Moss, but we have been able to get them to a 3rd and goal just by playing a lot better run defense. They had all the time to get this out, and I thought they got in off of that. Just the fact that they're kicking here, that they aren't going for it, is enough to make me happy, and they're going to shank it. We just got bailed out so hard. It should be a 7-point game. Taylon Green keeps it, but they're getting off of the blocks quicker. It's like whenever they're holding their blocks, we can knock it off of them to ever make a tackle. Good little hole there for Eric Washington. Just rotating between him and Braylon Russell has so much potential to pay off massively, but we need more speed. I don't remember what Braylon Russell's dev trait is, but that's what I want to focus on this offseason. Even if it only gets him up to like 90, I think it's going to be worth it. And it's about to be 3rd and 10. Now that we've run this concept so many times this season already, I'm a little bit afraid that they're going to pick up on it. It's going to be an out of reach throw, bad meter. And I'm just hoping that this is a great punt, but I still don't have the angles right. The crazy thing is Taylon Green might be the best quarterback that we have for the next 3-4 years, but he is still not that great at the same time because of how many passes he misses. I really don't know if we're going to thrive more with a pocket passer, though. We've been enjoying his ability to scramble. No, no, no. We had our hands on the ball. I should have swatted. Wooden was just able to get over to it, but he missed it by half a second. The worst part is I know if I didn't go for the interception there, we probably just swat it down. We really need something to go well for us to end this 3rd quarter. And is that going to be a pass that's on target? No, it's underthrown by Taylon Green. A touchdown given away because Taylon Green somehow made an underthrow. The kid's got 94 throw power. We're playing so bad for a team that could be even better. That one probably stings the most of all the throws, besides maybe 1 or 2 that he's missed, because we were establishing the run this entire game so we could slip in some big play action ones like that, and then it just doesn't end up paying off. Here on 3rd and 11, they're going to stay in 5 wide, and I think we're good here. We're going to catch the interception with Larry Worth III. It looked like he was just swatting the ball, somehow bounced into his hands, and we'll take it. It doesn't make up for the fact that we lost out on a free touchdown, but at least it still gives us a chance. And think of how many points we've potentially lost out off of because of fumbles or missed throws. I really don't think I've played that bad in this game. Maybe I have. Maybe I've missed some passes as well that I shouldn't have. These meters are really hard to time with Taylor Green as well, just knowing that he's not as accurate as what we want. But just the fact that he held on to that football there is enough to keep me happy. I'm really not sure if many other guys would have. We have so many players running underneath, confusing them. There was a window there too where I probably could have hit Platt on a streak, but I just didn't want to take that risk. We're not going to get a foot down. All right, we might as well let Jaylen Brown try and make a play to save this offense. He can't slip around everyone, but that will allow us to move the chains, start handing it off again, straight up the middle to Braylon Russell. And for this 2-point conversion, I feel like we have the numbers here to pull this one off. He doesn't get enough. The worst part is I really thought he had that too. They're going to go with play action right here and slip off of a tackle. Unfortunately, we really don't have that many chances to get this ball back. It's forcing me to be a little bit more aggressive than I would like, but I think they're going to go with a quarterback run here, and we've got to get to Marcel Reed. You know what? If he didn't slide there, I think that would have gone 50 times worse than it did. I think we're going to be able to get in this gap as well, hit Le'Veon Moss. I'm really liking this defense we've been coming out in. 3rd and 12. This is it right here. We get them off of the field. We still have our chance. He's got so much time back there, and we're going to have to make the tackle ourselves. We sent 4 guys in, and we just got absolutely 0 pressure. We're run committing as well, so if they throw the ball, this game will be over. Maybe we don't run commit on 3rd and 10. I'm hoping that our Stadium Pulse can confuse them. It looks like the play clock ran out. Where are they going? Oh, we can swat this. We can swat this all day. We're good. Just like that, there's still hope for a comeback. Now, if he shanks this kick, comeback odds are way better. He's not going to shank it. It's time to lock in, though. This is the Taylor Green experience. He always comes up clutch for us. I will feel good as long as we are in range for him to throw up a Hail Mary. I'd like to just get out of bounds here. Stop that clock. There is a real beauty in being able to do all these audibles because we're at home as well. Where did that pressure come from? It is 3rd and 5, but maybe we can get like a cover 2 and try and split those safeties. Actually, I think we might have been able to beat them deep with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown catches it. This game is not over. I cannot believe that Taylor Green just made that throw after all that we have been through. He can't hit a dude 5 yards in front of him in stride, but whenever he needs to clutch up, you know he is going to clutch up. We're just going to go back over there. Cam Shanks hangs on, and I guess we're running the read option. I didn't know I was calling this, but we're going to break a tackle and take it in. Let's go ahead, try and dunk it up on that upright. 2-point conversion play is definitely a bit scarier. I actually don't love that Anthony's in here because he is a quick kid, but that's about it. And it's off target. Wait, there's a flag. It's against Texas A&M. We are still in this game. We have been bailed out, and that was a bad throw from Taylor. I am fully content with knowing this game is in his hands, by the way. I'm fully content with him getting this direct snap and letting him go to work. Truck. It wasn't a great call. Even worse, my brain, I just wasn't thinking. And wait, we can audible. We can audible over. How do we audible to an onside kick here? I can't do anything. This is bad. We're going to go for a very, very low power kick, but it's just going to go too far. That's how we're going to lose. Just dumb decisions. We could have sent this Southwest Classic to overtime. That's now back-to-back losses for Arkansas. Marcel Reed, this doesn't even tell the full story. Forget his 174 passing yards. He ended up having 90 yards on the ground, while Le'Veon Moss had 144. Now, between our big three, we combined for about 200, but it wasn't enough to get the win. This next game, though, against Auburn, they're coming to our stadium, and we have 5-star cornerback Tim Ball on a visit. We're trying to get him to sign. Right now, we're his number 1 option. We already lost Jordan Beach to Georgia. And one thing I'm doing in recruiting right now is just finding a kicker and punter that's deal breaker is conference prestige, because when it's conference prestige, they should have no reason to ever transfer. If the SEC falls off that hard in this dynasty, we're going to have much bigger issues to deal with. Currently, there are 5 teams sitting inside the top 12, and then Texas A&M and Texas are also ranked. 2 of our final games, though, against LSU and Missouri, both of those teams are at the bottom of the SEC. The Tigers are really struggling. It's not going to make these final 5 matchups that much easier, though, because all 3 of these teams as rivals are going to play us extremely tough, and we know that even Mississippi State having a 5-2 season isn't going to be the freest win ever. What's really crazy is if we don't figure things out at some point, we could find a way to not make it to a bowl game still. We need to get one more win to even be eligible, so we got to just come out strong against the Tigers. I will say, there is one downside to choosing Arkansas as the team that that I'm doing for this rebuild series. The jersey options, they're very limited. I, for some reason, thought there were some black alternates out there that we don't have. So you better get used to a lot of red and white. They got quarterback masterclass on Jackson Arnold from last week. A little bit intimidated by it. We were trying to pump up the crowd early on, but it switched me on to one of our safeties. Maybe it was one of our outside corners. Either way, I will sit here on Wallace and be happy with it. There's just no shot. Darrell Robinson cannot be that good. He slips because of the rain and still gets 10 yards. I feel like the farther we've gotten into this season, we've just awakened some new beasts, and there it is. There it is. The Tigers have started off with an easy touchdown. Cam Coleman just turned the corner after beating our one-on-one coverage. We should have known that we can't be running that coverage against Auburn. I really hope this rain can just help our run game, though. Make it harder to bring down some of our best players. Nope, it's going to make it harder to hang on to the football instead. We're down 14-0 this early. We are going to be down 14-0 within the first 2 minutes. Well, this is definitely the worst start we've had to a season. I'm getting Jordan Anthony the ball. Thinking on it, lateraling the ball there was not the smartest thing we could have done. Can we get anything going? We are 3 plays in offensively, and I don't want to say I feel defeated already because you can't feel defeated this early on, but I kind of do. I know there's plenty of time left, but we just got so unlucky. And I hit the wrong button. I should have been hitting triangle. This is a brutal start. Now, Auburn, if they have another good drive, it'll be 21-0. Is that something we can overcome? I don't know. Let's just hope we don't even have to think about that and worry about it in the first place. Knock that ball loose. They really haven't tried to run it too much, but the second I say that, they just got like 5 perfect blocks in a row. I wasn't able to get off with Tavion Wallace either, but at least we would get them to a 3rd and 9 where I'm a little bit off with the user. Jackson Arnold got rid of it, but that was so much better than the alternative of him escaping the pocket and making a play. 17-0 is very, very bad. But let's think. What about the Ole Miss game? It didn't stop us from pulling off the comeback, so it can't stop us now. That is certainly not going to help, though. We got absolutely no separation, and I could see this happening against maybe Texas. But it's Auburn. This isn't like 2012. They don't have Cam Newton back there. We can do better. What I'm really depending on is our defense to just stop the run and hold them to 3, which we do. But we are going to have to settle in offensively, and it might be because we haven't run the ball much. I'm trying to think back on all the plays we've called. I know that we fumbled on the second play of the game. Jordan Anthony, go, go, go. This is better than me ever taking over on offense. He's going to get caught. That's fine, though. We are still in prime positioning here. I just couldn't get between those two. Luckily for us, they've decided to be very generous, offering all of this space for us to just run around and fumble again. We fumbled twice already. It must be because of the rain, because we have not seen Taylor Green fumble like this at all. He would get 1 fumble a game, not 2 of them in the very first quarter. If we get another rain game, we'll just have to know that we can't run the ball with him, and if we do, we're going to have to find a way to slide every single time. But because we have started off this week, I don't know how you overcome it. We have 9 yards of total offense in 1 quarter, and Auburn has more than double that in points. I don't know what has happened. This collapse is starting to feel like it's a little bit more permanent. At first, I thought we just had 1 bad week, and then it was 2 bad weeks. Now it's looking like 3 of them in a row. We have a hard area to guard there. Luckily, Larry Worth III did a pretty good job of holding it down, and they're going to juke away from us. Cam Coleman just kept this drive alive with an incredible move. Darrell Robinson keeps on going. This offense is currently giving me more nightmares than Tennessee did. This is not a challenge, by the way, to see how much we can fall behind by and then overcome it. There's been 1 player on defense that's been really good for us, and that's been Larry. He just got a sack off of a corner blitz. But there it is. This is making me mad. This is making me frustrated. We can't do much. Jackson Arnold goes in. I feel hopeless, and I shouldn't even feel hopeless. This is not a team that we should feel hopeless against. The worst part is this is all happening in front of our home fans that saw us start 5-0. Now they're just having to witness another Arkansas collapse. And somehow it hurried us up, so we're going to have to burn a timeout. Not that it's going to make a difference. I genuinely think that this game's over before halftime. Look at what they're doing to us. We just don't have the defense to guard this. No one on this team's good enough. I'm so sick right now. 34-0? The same team that won our first 5 games? I mean, we can just run against this defense. We know that we're going to have a lane like that. But then they immediately get out of that set, and we still have the numbers to keep going. Hang on, if we just stay in hurry-up mode, we know that their personnel is not set to stop the run at the moment. We're going to fight with Braylon Russell, where I might as well just get him on a counter too, get some more blockers over in this direction. Our offense has lost all life, all the things that it did so well that confuses the other team, which is why we're going to hit him with a bubble pop. Jalen Platt to the 4. Greatest comeback of all time. That's what we're going to have to try and overcome if we want any chance at getting some recruits to commit. The first points have been the challenge for us, where offense just struggles. We're going to get that with this QB sneak. Then we're going to start this second half with the ball, where we've been able to settle in a little bit more. But our best play to end that first half wasn't anything that I can replicate a bunch of. It was basically just running the football, and there's some crazy PI going on there for them to get to that interception, by the way. We were trying to playmaker. It's over. It's over. I was trying to playmaker over those zones. It didn't work. There is nothing more that needs to be seen, said, heard about this game. We're going to act like it never happened. I see some of our school grades starting to fall, which means even more players are going to want to transfer. Braylon Russell, one of those, by the way. I guess if we lost him, wouldn't be the end of the world. I've just been sitting here getting really frustrated with him. Looking at these 2 4-star gyms, though, both of them are on a visit this week against Mississippi State. I want that 6'4" gadget receiver. I want 5-star corner Tim Ball. And headed into this game, Mississippi State is sitting at 5-3. We're both an 84 overall, but I thought they were going to be the worst team in the SEC just based off of the team they have. Of our matchups that are left on the schedule, this is going to be the one to win. And if we aren't able to pull that off, it's going to be bad. Blake Shapen threw 3 picks last week. He was sacked 4 times as well. So like I'm thinking, this is a matchup that we could come out on top of. We handled Notre Dame. We handled Ole Miss. We can handle Mississippi State. It definitely helps. Cameron Ball's already getting a sack on 3rd and long. They're just taking up a deep shot, and this is where we're going to swat it down so we can't catch it. I am very worried right now that we could end the season on a 7-game losing streak, going 5-7, so we've got to be coming out strong. Last time I said that, I don't think the game against Auburn went well, but this one will be different, especially if they're going to give us a look like that early on in the game. We're just going to make sure that we have the option to beat them deep if we want. I don't know if they're going to press a lot or not still, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Why did you not block him? You know, Jaden Platt might be able to just get off this team next year. I don't know what his blocking stats are. I don't know what his awareness is. He stood behind the dude. I genuinely don't know what he was thinking. That could have been such a huge play. Instead, we're on a 3rd and 7. They bring in a blitz, but we were ready to get it out very quickly over to Omega Blake. And I feel like this route with Cam Shanks could be absolutely filthy, but we're going to have to hit him in the hands. Oh, well, if this is cover 2, we're going to have a touchdown. We're just going to split those zones. It's not, and that's exactly what I was staring down. Makes it 3rd and 10 for us, and our hitch was open, but if we scramble, we can get more. We do have an issue, though. You're going to notice Mike Washington Jr. is only in. There is no Braylon Russell for multiple weeks because he dislocated his elbow against the Tigers. It's the first big injury that we're dealing with this year, but it allows us to use AJ Green. I'm going to see how often we can get him out there if we make him our 3rd down back. He's just the fastest running back we got. But after our offensive line did not hold up well there, it's going to be 3rd down. We're going to juke out the defensive line, though, and that's going to allow Taylon Green to take it into the end zone, putting us up 7-0. You know, I originally hated the new playmaker controls because we had to learn them since you could now juke behind the line of scrimmage this year. But now that I've figured it out, I'm so glad we have that option. They're just running some hitches on 3rd and 19. They're not going to be able to move the chains. And even though the last few weeks might not have gone our way, it feels like the talent gap has swung back in our favor, and we have a good chance. We have the better team here, which is helping us out a lot, though that could have been intercepted. And we might be looking at a route to Cam Shanks here if it was some man-to-man coverage. Looks like they've resorted to some zones, but guess what? We have Taylon Green for a reason. You give me some match when I'm staring down one route, I'm just going to scramble because I was not prepared to make a real read there. And it works out with AJ Green getting us to the 5. He just came in out of nowhere and did an amazing job on that halfback screen. We're not going to be able to hang on to that, but throwing might have been our better choice because when we're running down here, it's just hard. I think the play is going to be a quarterback draw, which can sometimes go really well. And if it doesn't, we'll take our 3. I don't care if I just played this super safe. I'm content with this. I almost threw an interception on 1st and goal. It would have not been worth it at all. They're going to take a deep shot instead, which makes no sense here, but Bridges is going to add on another interception to his totals this year, and that's what we wanted. Coming into this game, we saw what Blake Shapen did the week before. He took 4 sacks, he threw 3 picks, and he's picking up right where he left off. So I feel very comfortable giving AJ Green some carries on the ground as well. It's nice to know we might have some more depth than I was thinking. Cam Shanks on the outside there is not going to get open at all. I blindly threw that because it looked like he might. It seemed like they were aggressively pressing. Turns out that they weren't, but we're going to be able to split that cover 3 to Jaylen Brown. Taylon Green's had multiple multiple bad weeks, but he's bouncing back. And I think what's going to happen is next season, when we don't have a quarterback like him, I'm going to end up really missing the kid. As frustrated as I've gotten with him, he's basically guaranteed to be better than whatever we're dealing with next year. But there we are in the end zone again. We are coming off of a blowout loss to Auburn, and now we're about to do the same. Devin Booth is currently getting carries, fan of the channel, but we do not want him to succeed right now. Holding him up well here on 3rd and 11. They got their 3rd down back in. They're going to try and hit him with the halfback screen, but Dix Jr. is all over that kid. No way. Okay, that's fine by me. We just tried to get Jordan Anthony a block. It didn't really work there, but we have a window for Mike Washington Jr. Seemed like he was going to have potential to get an even bigger carry than that, and you got to get out of the kid's way. This is insane. After weeks of struggle, to not be struggling, it doesn't even feel right. That should show you that team overall means absolutely nothing, because Mississippi State's like the worst team we've played all year. The only other team we faced where we could perform like this was Arkansas State, but I think we're playing better now. And this game might be over by halftime, especially if we finish off another drive. Unfortunately, that is going to be coming back. There are times where sophomore Jaylen Brown makes mistakes, but it's all good. It will allow us to take off some more time before the end of this first half. And they thought that they could catch Taylon Green when all along he has been the fastest and best quarterback I've used in a long time. This has just been a completely different experience than playing Auburn. It's genuinely so weird to me. I mean, they haven't even gotten past midfield, it feels like. Maybe they have. I can't remember. It's been that much of a blowout. There is still time for them to get it back within 2 possessions, though, before the end of this first half. I don't know why I decided to go for a hit stick. They just opted into kicking their extra point, though, and if I could get the time to get this throw out, that play's typically big. The blocking on it is just so bad, though, that it never works. We have the inside leverage. We're currently sitting at 158 passing yards, 3 touchdowns for Taylon Green, by the way. No way we got the speed. There, we don't. We don't. There's an interception. All of a sudden, we're back to what we were doing a few weeks ago, or really just a week ago against Auburn. This could be an extremely rough ending to the first half. We have somehow opened up the door for Mississippi State to have a chance at getting back in this game, and they're doing it again. They're doing it 2 times in like a minute. I don't even think it's worth it for us to try and throw the ball more before the end of this first half. But then Taylon Green does something like that, and we're going to sit here in the pocket and not get it out. If we could just throw above some of these zones and get into field goal range, it would be great, but we're going to have to go down where we are not going to hit a 62-yard kick. But what we can do is throw up a Hail Mary. We've seen the Hail Mary work before. Another thing I might even consider doing is scrambling here. We're going to break that first attempt. We're going to have to get around this kid. That was ugly. Okay, so 24-14 at the half is not what I thought it was going to be when we were playing really well. But if we can open up this third quarter with a strong run-heavy drive that is successful, that'll really help close out this game, and it's going to get AJ Green a lot of touches. We can also get Taylon Green some looks, though, with stuff like a speed option, and he is just blasted out of there. The downfield block is not going to hit on that last player, but I'm glad it didn't. I didn't want to block in the back there. Nothing like that. We're going to keep it on the read option. He's going for 150 yards. We're already at 146. This is what I dreamed of when I saw I would be using the kid. Pick it up. Pick it up. No. We just gave it back to Mississippi State. This game's not over. This game is not over. I have to sit here and talk because it's my YouTube video, but I just want to sit in silence and cry. We have dominated the Bulldogs. This should not be a competitive matchup still. This drive could take a while, though, if they plan on just running the ball a lot, except where is our defense? We got to be able to make a conservative tackle. I'm trying to shift our defense to where we can actually stop them. And we were getting run all over by a dude named Fluff. This time, it's going to be Devin Booth getting 15. This is the kid whose first name is Fluff, though. They just tried to hit us with an RPO. And you know what? Larry Worth III needs more props than I've even been giving him. I know we've given him a good bit, but he's been another stud for us. And this is about to get ugly. Some of the most important plays of this game are right now. And I don't know what we're doing. I thought we were playing hard flats. Maybe we weren't, but we are going to here. 3rd and goal. We got a quarterback contain, and we're all over it. This is really big. We're going to pump up that crowd. We need them to shank this kick right here. Come on. Shank it. Shank it. We are so fortunate that worked out the way that it did. And we're just coming out, sending it up to Omega Blake because they were pressing. I'm sitting here looking for a dagger in the 3rd quarter that we don't even need. And this seems like it's going to be cover 3 if they end up being super aggressive and bringing a blitz. Oh, wow, that should have been intercepted. I don't know why I threw the comeback there. That wasn't man-to-man coverage. That's the only reason that you should throw it in that spot. It was really bad. Whenever I get a good lead in a game, I just have like a choking element built in. Pause. But legitimately, we've just been crumbling under pressure in this game, and they just had a route run backwards. Now Blake Shapen's taking off. What are we doing right now? He didn't just run a comeback. He ran a comeback to the line of scrimmage. There's still 7 minutes left. That is a lot of time for things to not go that well for us. I'm pretty sure Aiden Williams is the biggest receiving threat they got, and I just bit so hard at that. We have not scored in this second half yet. They're on a 14-0 run, and I think we just got a run commit in this situation, but they did a QB sneak. I don't know what happened. I don't know what clicked, but they got a lot smarter against us. And once again, come back to the line of scrimmage routes. They're working. They're running all over the field, and we're sending 4 guys and getting no pressure, so they have time to do it. The fact that we're only up by 3 all of a sudden, and there's still 5 minutes left in this game, it's got me pretty concerned. We'll see where their defense ends up committing on this play. Perfect. Those blocks hold up. We're going to get a massive one here. Jaylen Brown, though, it looked like he was going to push that other guy out of the way so we could get a bigger gain. He did not, though. He has been our most disappointing blocking receiver. It kind of makes sense. He's not the biggest, but we got to think. This 3rd and 1, this is a huge 3rd and 1, and we have AJ Green out there. We have the 93 speedster who's going to fight off a tackle, but what is the youngin doing? Okay, maybe he's a senior, but either way, you don't run backwards there. We have to get a stop on defense. I don't care what home field advantage we have. I am shaking. This is ugly. This is bad. I'm sorry, Arkansas fans, that you have to deal with a team this inconsistent. There are so many routes currently out there on the field that I'm just not going to be able to guard. And the worst part about all of this is they have all the momentum. Momentum is a very real thing in this game. It is scary. It is hard to play against. They get out of bounds. But you know what? Something we've not done. We've not brought a blitz. I tried to bring a blitz. Davin Booth will just run for it. And if they're going to sit out there in 5 wide, it's going to be very hard to get them off this field. No, no, he's gone. He's gone. Catch him, Wooden. Catch him. Catch him. We have to sit here and run commit. We've got to stop him. Just like that, we have had our 24-point lead erased, and we're not even getting our best kick returner out there for what we need to be a big gain. From a rushing perspective, Taylon Green has not had a better performance all year. He is somehow going to escape the pressure there, but he's off target. He's off target. They're going to be able to pick it. No, we had him open for 20 yards. No one was near him. No one was near him. It's over. It's over. It's over. They're actually passing too after I'm run committing. That's insane. Actually insane behavior. I just want to get them off of the field. I don't think we're going to be able to. That's it. We just blew a 24-0 lead. We just blew a 24-0 lead to Mississippi State. This could cost us a bowl. It felt like it was over. Like there was no way they could even possibly come back with how well we were playing. I don't even know what to say. I thought Taylon Green was going to go for like 200 rushing yards. We were going to blow him out. This is making me sick. We started with 5 wins this season. It felt like we were going to cruise to like 8, 9 wins. And then we lost the last 4. And now we have to close it out with 2 road rivalry games against very tough programs and then playing Missouri. I was making fun of teams at one point that I really shouldn't have been because now we're sitting there at the bottom of the SEC next to the Tigers. There's also no way that we're going to pull out this battle for Tim Ball because we got blown out by Auburn when he visited. Ty Moffitt, the 4-star Jim, decided he would rather play linebacker for Tennessee. And even Zach Forrest is going to be a very tight battle that comes down to the wire. For some of these other 4-stars, we'll see how they play out, but our hard sells on them aren't that good. There is a reason that even after we got all 3 of them correct, that we're losing hours on these big schools. We have really started to regress hard, but at least Braylon Russell is going to be back after another week. The battle for the Golden Boot. This is another very important rivalry to Arkansas. And I think it is also going to be a night game. We had our 6-win season in the bag just a few quarters ago. Now through these last 3 matchups, we're going to have to fight hard. Historically in this series, the Tigers have won twice as many games as Arkansas, but we won the last one. At some point, we got to be due to pull off another surprise win. And I was trying to throw the RPO there to our tight end, but Mike Washington Jr. decided he was just going to jump over the defensive line. Get out of our way. So far, 3 straight runs, no issue for us at all. We can actually hit our RPO here as well. Soon, we should be getting Taylon Green involved on the ground too, but we're fighting for everything. We're having to earn every single yard that we pick up, and we're just getting first downs. This drive is already stressing me out. Come on, Cam. you got to get more than 7. I feel like if Jaylen Brown was catching that, he would have been able to get us at least a first down. We're still winning the battle up front, though, which has been very, very nice. It even felt like against Mississippi State that we couldn't win the battle up front a lot of the time, especially after we got off to such a good start, then it turned. But currently, things are going really smooth. If it's not broken, we're not going to fix it. AJ Green comes in for a carry, and that's a good start from him. We're putting a kid on the ground. We got great alignment to throw this. Yet all of a sudden, we are on a 3rd and 4, one of the longest third downs we've had so far. Taylon Green is not getting it either. Every yard is earned. That was no different. I don't think they're going to be able to prevent us from getting a couple of yards with the jet touch pass, but they did. They did. Sam Pittman's not happy about it. And now we have to face Garrett Nussmeier. He's starting on the 6-yard line. I'm hoping he doesn't just dot our defense up. You know who we're going to have to stop, though? Former Kentucky receiver Barian Brown. He terrifies me. There's a fumble in the end zone. It's a safety. You know, even though that could have been a touchdown, we'll take that for sure. And I think we just got to go back to what was working really well. Lots of runs, basically every single play. Going to set us up for a 3rd and 4. What I really wanted, though, was play action dagger. We've gotten the play call. We're going to see if it's there, and it's not. We ran the ball for a quarter straight just for them to not fall for a play action, even though we've been running on 3rd down. But guess what? Our defense helped us out the last time, and here, we did not. It did not help us because we cannot get to Garrett Nussmeier. Our coverage was even pretty solid. I'm going to blitz, and it didn't matter. They had a quick read. I might try and just come through there one more time, but it wasn't necessarily there. I think we might have found something there, though, that we could use more often. I really liked it, actually. We man up that guy on the outside, and then we just take over and user all this other stuff. It kind of turns into a cover 6, but unfortunately, they got the first down, and they're starting to get some more plays going well. What they're not really doing, though, is running the football, which they definitely could be if they wanted to. It's not like we've been setting up defensively to stop the run, though I did on this play. I figured if they still hadn't called a run, that it was coming pretty soon, and we just got routed up, which is going to give them a touchdown. It doesn't even do anything for us to stop them right here, unless we got a goal line hold. And we have got to do more offensively than running it over and over. At some point, I just got to throw the ball and accept that we're probably not going to have much time back there, but look at that. It pays off with Jaden Platt getting open. Maybe I shouldn't be as scared to throw it as I currently am. We're going to roll out with Taylon Green and just take as many yards as we can get, though he's about to fumble. The fact that he didn't with his fatigue bar fully drained there, we are very blessed. Look at Mike getting us 9. This has actually been a very productive drive, and the RPO is going to get us another 5. There were multiple reads there I was staring down that I was fully prepared to throw. I don't love that I just had it in me to throw it no matter what. I can't believe he played that too. I thought we'd get away with it. The worst part is if they don't hand this off, I don't know what we're going to do. Oh no, Barian Brown's getting loose. Barian Brown's getting loose. If that was just a normal run, we were chilling. We were good. We've played just as well as the Tigers. The real difference, though, has been that they're capitalizing and we're not. 2 guys open on that side of the field, but they just take the top off of our defense and we get back to it with Singletary. I guess we're going to try and return this as well. Blockers down the field. Come on. Come on. I don't even know if that was Barian Brown. I wasn't paying that much attention, but I thought what happened there was Barian Brown literally just toasted us. And there was absolutely no hope that we were going to be able to catch up. Jaden Platt with another snag. He's had some good moments for us receiving-wise so far, but we just got stuffed. I mean, there was absolutely nowhere for us to go, and with our routes running into each other, we just didn't have the time that we needed for them to get open. I can't throw it. I can't throw this. It's going to be a pick, and I threw it anyway. I knew it was guarded, and I still threw it because I just wanted the chance to pick up the first. That's 2 interceptions in this game that could have been completely avoided. We could have a lead. I don't know why it's so hard for Taylon Green to just settle for 3, to not get a touchdown. He's just been forcing it when he does not need to, and we're going to get it back. We're going to get it back. Larry Worth, the 3rd, might actually save us as he's in the end zone. Our defense is doing it again. It's not our offense. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We have somehow worked our way into a lead before the end of this first half. I have found our defense, too, that we're not going to switch up from until they show us that they can beat it. It's a little crazy. I just called a timeout there, but it's fully off of my own ego. I feel like we could end up getting a kick return with Jordan Anthony, which is why I just wanted to take that opportunity, drag over some blockers, and see what we can pull off, though I'm scared to lateral. We don't want to risk anything. Either way, though, we've got a lead. That golden boot might be coming home with us. We could be up by multiple touchdowns too, but we just got to work with the hand that we have dealt ourselves. And I'm starting to think that LSU has figured out that they could just run the ball against us if they wanted, but no. Caleb Durham, listen, good guy, good running back. He's not doing that. This is what I was afraid of. This is what I knew was going to be coming as soon as they broke off one play. We were already struggling offensively, and we're currently playing at the stadium ranked #1 for Stadium Pulse. I'm not able to audible anything with Taylon Green. Death Valley is going to be giving us problems the entire rest of this game. How do you overcome that right there? Like, what can I do differently? We're just going to trust that Taylon Green can somehow get to the marker. That's what they wanted. They got what they needed. They got their stop, and it's going to feel very hard to be able to overcome this going forward. What I can do is I can pinch the line and hope that that helps us stop the run a little bit better. I don't think they're going to run it again, though. We're ready for the pass, and that'll make it 3rd and 8. All right, our pass defense, I feel like it's still been working out really well, but it might be time to adjust. The computer has picked up on what we've been running all game, and they have figured out the solution and how to beat it. I'm glad that they're smart enough to adjust, but it's going to make this very hard. We just had to get out of that defensive formation, and now we're in double mug. I didn't love that, though. Caden Durham gets the handoff, and I was almost dumb enough to try and run man-to-man coverage there. Against their receivers, it is most likely going to cook us. I just wanted a way to get in some pressure at least, and Garrett Nussmeier takes the check down, but we got 3 guys getting over there. We are still keeping this one within just a possession, but we need to put together a drive, and we need to put together a good one pretty soon. I don't think it's going to come from throwing the ball either. The problem, though, is if we're not going to be able to have success running the ball, I don't know what to do. Like, I just cannot hand this off in this situation. I have to know that we're going to drop it. You know, the fact that I have to do this realistically, too, since it's the 3rd quarter and, like, punt the ball, it bugs me because I would just love to send it and go for it, but you can't be that aggressive from Young 27. It's bad throwing meters, though. I feel like half the stuff we've struggled with has been avoidable. There is Xavier Sori Jr.'s problem right there, though. We should have had a pick 6, a second one. Instead, he just drops it, and they're going to continue to shred us defensively. They're going to be in field goal range. Playing against some of these top teams has been a very humbling experience. I'm enjoying the slider set, though. I feel like I've found a really good balance for what we're looking for to keep things realistic. In fact, if you take out some of my user errors, we could have won multiple other games. So as we build this team better throughout this entire series, I think it's really going to do us well. Big 3rd and 6 right here. They're going to try and get a throw out. But it doesn't really matter. We keep holding them to 3 if we cannot score. What I really want is just a Jordan Anthony bailout touchdown return. Break the tackle. Break the tackle. There's too many dudes. I think they're sitting in cover 3 as well, but I don't know what we can really do about that. Taylon Green, break 1 tackle. Keep on going. This isn't going to go for a touchdown, but there's a little bit of life. Stadium Pulse completely out of the picture at the moment because this game got so out of hand, but it is starting to come back a little bit. And I'll test this. I'll test this. Give us that. Not worth it at all. We're going to take the quick out route. We're just going to try. And hang on. We stay on our feet, too. I really like that out of Jalen Brown. I can't believe that that worked for us. Keep it. Taylon Green. Not going to go all the way. There's the fumble. I knew that was probably coming, but I did not change anything up. We got our hitch. It took forever to get there. And this is another opportunity for Taylon Green to fumble, but it's also an opportunity for him to just punch it into the end zone. We recovered it. We recovered it. We are getting a little bit lucky there. I tried to reach across, but it was not quick enough. For the 2-point conversion, I'm going to look for either Jones or our halfback angle route, or we can just float it over there. I don't know what Ismail Sissy was doing in the game, by the way. He has not seen the field for us. He just made a clutch 2-point conversion catch for us, though, and we've gone back to the defense that was working. I think here on 3rd down, we're just going to switch it up, and we're going to send in that blitz, but we didn't get there quick. And at some point, I will have to consider the fact that they could just run out the entire rest of the game clock if we don't start getting a stop. The worst part is if we press, I know Barry and Brown could literally just outrun us completely. So I'm trying to back our guys up. We get in a blitz here, and we get out there, but it took a bit. Lots of effort to bring him down. They're just going to go with an RPO, and we make a good tackle. All right, 3rd and 11. I hate that I'm stuck on a defensive tackle, but we're going to be able to pressure Garrett Nussmeier out of it. And what we have done is we have set ourselves up to score a touchdown and win. I do this in rebuilds all the time. How hard could it be here? Jordan Anthony, whoa, he got a little bit of a speed boost, but there's a flag. And it's all coming back. We might be starting this drive on like the 15. I hope we're not. Even worse, our own 12-yard line. They have gone with cover 1, but, oh, this was a bad decision. It really looked like cover 1, but then it switched into all sorts of match coverages. We'll hit our drag, and we'll get a first. There is still plenty of time left in this game. It's just a lot better when you can mix in a lot of 4 verticals. We're going to go out of bounds. Stops the clock, allows us to select a new play, which was a great decision. I'll take 15. This pistol formation, though, especially with the receivers that we currently have out there, not good. Okay, it is 2nd and 14. They're obviously starting to scare me a little bit. We've got to find a way to get out of bounds. We don't have the personnel I want out there on the field, and now it's gotten us stuck in a run play. Okay, this is at least a pass. We can work with the pass. 43 seconds left. Great route from Mike Washington Jr., but he's not out of bounds. I was trying to get out of bounds. He was not out of bounds. We're taking it. We're taking the shot. We only have 30 seconds and 1 timeout to get a touchdown. It's so hard to tell what play we're even running. That's such a bad throw, too. But it could have been such a big gain for us. And now we're just hoping that we can hang on. This is brutal. 4th and 10. I think they're going to give us all the time in the world. Fall down? That's enough. All right, same play, 13 seconds, 12 seconds left. We need to try and just not take a sack. That hurts our odds a lot, actually. I think what we might do is just take a quick shot to the end zone and then hope that we can get another chance. Here we go. We have had 1 miracle Hail Mary with Arkansas already. Can we get a second one? We have all the time to get this off. It's actually going a lot farther than I would have liked. So that's going to do it. We lost the boot. We lost the boot. We had plenty of opportunities to score more points than we did, too. You know, it's been the tunnel vision out of Taylon Green that's hurt us all year. When you have accuracies as low as this, 74 under pressure, you can't force it. He's currently only thrown 16 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, 2,000 passing yards, really on the rushing side where he's been impressive. Guess what, though? We're about to face off against 6-4 Texas. So the Longhorns, they are coming off of a loss. It turns out they lost by a few points to Georgia. And we really, really need an upset somehow here, because Zach Forrest, the 4-star gadget, 6'4" receiver, 91 speed, his deal breaker has been met, so he's going to go to Iowa State. That's just another player that we could have had that we're not going to get anymore. If I can set one goal for this game, it's Taylon Green to not get that tunnel vision, to not throw an interception when he knows that it's going to be a pick, when you can see the person right there standing, staring at you. I had to talk with him before the game. That is all that I'm asking out of him, and we'll see if that can end up being a difference maker for us. Arch Manning's one of the best quarterbacks in this game, so stopping him, not going to have a very good time doing that, especially with other guys on this Texas roster. We'll see if we can just get into those holes, though, and not push them forward. LSU's offense is really good, and I feel like we did a lot of stuff against them well. On this defensive side of the ball, there's a lot that we can learn from that last game, but not with one safety back there. We're just putting them on an island. They're handing it off. They're still able to somehow evade through it all. We probably would have just lost a couple yards there. Our ball carrier vision, not as great. No shot, they snagged that. I thought we were about to get a pick. It looked like Arch threw it directly to our safety in the middle. Ryan Wingo just played good defense and offense there, making sure he got in front of it. I'm seeing Braylon Russell back in the game as well, so that should help out our offense even more. But Taylon Green, not outrunning these kids. I'm not really sure what our play call is. It's hard to tell, but we're going to have to hang on. When Taylon Green does put it in the right spot, we don't make the catch. Whenever we would make the catch and we'd get a huge play out of it, he doesn't put it in the right spot. It's like we just cannot win. And he's an 86. It's going to take the next coming of Tom Brady or something for us to end up having offensive success. But I feel like without the scrambling ability, it might be even worse. Somehow, they just got the cleanest block of all time. This one is feeling more like the Tennessee-Auburn game, a lot less like the one we just played. Arch Manning wants to end this one in the first half. I am really not enjoying it. I can't believe that I actually thought there was a chance we made the playoff with this team. We got to 9 wins this season. Right now, that feels like one of the dumbest things I could have possibly thought. Taylon Green's doing his best, but we can't even audible a streak out there if we wanted to see if Cam Shanks could get open deep. So I almost want to just save a lot of our best guys for next week against Missouri. Even though I want to rest them, that's really crazy. We're not going to do it. This is not the NFL, and resting players to go 6-6 and make a bowl game is not something I'd want to get out. So far, Taylon Green's wear and tear with all the damage he's taken is still held up really well throughout this year, but did nobody decide to block that kid Fortunately, I feel like with the way extender works, we're just able to evade tackles. Like I have seen numerous times where they just aren't able to bring us down when they're right next to us. That's why I feel so confident just running backwards for 20 yards sometimes. 3rd and 2, this is 4-down territory for us. We're not gonna let Texas stop us 2 times in a row. Or we may, but we're sure not punting or kicking a field goal in this situation. I don't love it. I don't love it. We catch it. Never mind. Must have popped out. We didn't. I was expecting zone coverage. That's why I had all those hitch routes there. Once it was man-to-man, there just wasn't really anywhere for us to go. They're also sweating so hard. They're coming out with a QB sneak. Typically, they just come out and call something stupid on 3rd and inches, but whenever you don't need much, quarterback sneak, it is the right move. I'm definitely seeing some progress in trying to make the computer AI a lot smarter. And then I'm just dealing with it on the back end of the fact that they got the better ratings, they got the better team. Until we build up Arkansas, this is what we're going to be dealing with. Please, test it. Never mind. Never mind. It was someone else. To be fair, we lost a game after getting off to a 24-0 start. So this game's not over yet. Who knows? We might come back. We're technically on fire with Taylon Green, which feels crazy because we haven't done that much that well. But we might as well just keep on pumping it. And it's like every time I see a touchdown opportunity, they're going to hit us right before I'm able to throw it out. There's no way that they're tracking him down here. This whole season is just making me respect what Cam Newton did back in the day so much more because he carried a team. He was built like this. And if you look at some of the names on that roster, you have no clue who they are. 3rd and 31, though. I don't know how it happened, but we are on a 3rd and 31 where Taylon Green is going to just try and run for the entire thing. I don't care about kicking a field goal either. We are in this game to win it, to beat Texas, and if we need to, we're just going to run around in the pocket like a lunatic, throw it, and hopefully make this catch. Just when I was about to lose all hope, we should get our first touchdown. What I'm really hoping for is Texas is passive here and we get this ball back before the end of the first half. Just off of the formation they've come out in, I think that's what they're doing. They're chewing a lot of clock, but we have brought our safety down because I thought for sure we would have been able to stop them. I thought it was going to be a run too. Instead, Arch Manning just gets all the time in the world and now he is going to destroy our cover 3. You know what? Let's send 7. We got nothing else to lose here. Nothing else to lose. Okay, well, there and then some. That kind of stinks. Maybe we can just get a field goal out of this, though. I can't believe that actually worked. We're going to get a great meter, and it's back within 18. What's going to really be hard on us, though, if we're going to come back, is getting those defensive stops against Arch Manning. We just got off to such a slow start in this game, and, I mean, they should pick this. They should. I don't know why I threw it there. There's no explanation. I've kind of just accepted that coming back is going to be so brutal on us, even though we just held them to 3, that I'm ready to face Missouri next week and have our best chance. The mental resilience from Taylon Green and the rest of this team is not where it needs to be. That's another thing I'd like to recruit for in the future. There are times I can't necessarily blame them, though, and they're going to have a safety get back to this or else Jaylen Brown would have been gone. That one really stinks. Tight end over the seam on 3rd down. Oh gosh, they're getting in pressure. It's over. It's over. This has been one of those games. It's just been one of those performances. We had 3 of them this year. I think that's far more than I had in season 1 with FIU. I feel like most of our games ended up being pretty competitive and interesting. I think we even won like 10 games with FIU that first season. Just shows this Dynasty series is the hardest one I've ever done. I mean, we just got beat 47-10. Our championship contender has even dropped all the way to a D+, so now we're definitely going to max out at getting 20 transfers out of Arkansas this year. We're going to lose a lot of this team that hasn't even been that good, and what's really, really sad to me is as I look through the SEC, basically every single team is bowl eligible besides us and Ole Miss. Like, I'm looking back at the records of all the teams that we beat to start the season before we went on this 6-game losing streak, and every single one of them, besides Memphis, was pretty bad. Even Memphis at 8-3 isn't great. They're in a weaker conference. Tim Ball is so close to committing. The 5-star corner is still going to choose our school, which is really nice, though. Zach Forrest, we're just going to have to say goodbye to the gadget receiver. And for all of these players that you're about to see, some of them might be bust, but they are coming on a visit in week 14. If we end this season on a 7-game losing streak, I don't want to open the comment section. I don't want to read it. I'm just going to happily start filming season number 2. It is time for the Battle Line rivalry. Took a 5-minute breather before this one. Stress levels are high. This is a big game for this season because what seemed like was going to be an easy path to making it to a bowl has turned into a complete disaster. It's raining. What I have to keep in mind is we gotta slide with Taylon Green. If we don't, he will most likely just fumble it away. And I didn't know we had this in the playbook, but we got a triple option. So we're gonna run the triple option. We're gonna pitch it early on, and we're gonna see what we can do with Russell. I have some very bad news though, boys. Jackson's out there on the field. That is right. We have TJ Jackson out there on the field. Taylon Green is back spasms. He'll return soon. I almost want to keep him in now. I'm not going to though, which might seem dumb. I just do not want to risk him getting injured even worse. But literally just another play later, he is in there for third down. And we're going to have to make a great play. It's all good. We should be able to just punt this out of bounds. It's going to be on our defense to come up with some big stops. That was not how I planned on our first drive going, but what can you do about it? After seeing Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy has rushed for 1,500 yards this season, though, I am very worried. They're 6-5 too. That just lets you see how hard the SEC really is. We don't catch it though, despite being in a perfect position. They hit a wide receiver screen on third down to pick it up. And I'm pretty furious. That hit us right in the hands. It looked like we were about to stop that run in the backfield. Half of football is a mental battle though. We cannot let it get to us. No deep throws. We are better than this team. We can beat Missouri. We are a good roster. We should make it to a bowl game. Positive affirmations. I'm learning. I'm trying my best here. Did they just bomb our defense? Thank you. Swat that down. I'm sitting here lying to myself like a girl in her friend's comment section just because we need to feel as good as we possibly can to try and pull this off. Taylon Green's the best quarterback ever. He never would miss a throw. He'd never make an inaccurate pass. It's not working, even when he put it on the money. Then we're just not going to catch it. But look at this run from Mike. You know what? Maybe he just wants it more. Hit him with an RPO. Let Jaden get us 5. And I'm leaving a bubble out there because I want the chance to get some big plays. Every time we get in this situation, it's never pretty. But what we're going to do is we're going to block Russell, and we're going to see if we can get the right alignment on Blake. I could have gone for a touchdown, but I just played it safe. That was really hard for me to do, but I wanted to make sure that I was able to keep this drive alive. I'm not even sure why I'm still getting excited about Braylon Russell, though. He's just going to transfer out. He doesn't love it here. He doesn't like our pro potential. We've gotten it to a 3rd and 13, where Taylon Green's legs felt like the best move. That's probably our best move on like 75% of these plays, but maybe his arm can be a good option too. I'm actually really happy with how this drive's going. We're going to get Braylon Russell out in space, and he can shed that tackle. He's wet. You don't bring down a guy like him whenever he's that wet. They can barely tackle him when he's dry. Now, here's this Missouri running back that he's quick too. Ahmad Hardy is definitely pretty intimidating when he runs to the outside. But good news, we got him on a 3rd and 5, and that's the end of the first quarter already. That came pretty fast. They've definitely not had the ball that much yet. We are going to hit and knock that ball loose. That is exactly why I say hit sticks are everything. It's why I go for them, because you can get the ball out sometimes when you wouldn't even expect it. Cut out of there. Cut out of there. Look at the speed from Jordan. Anthony, we need one block. One block. No. That was it. That was his 2nd kick return, or 3rd kick return of this season. I feel like he's had 2 touchdowns off of them this season. Maybe he didn't, but I'm pretty sure he did. It's kind of sad, but like our entire second half of the season has just been a complete blur because of how bad it's been. And we got to make sure we at least get a field goal out of this drive for a 2-possession lead. I think the plan's just roll out to that right side, see if Taylon Green can make a play. He's going to break their first attack at a sack. And with Heisman extender active, what can you do? Zone coverage man-to-man, they're going to leave Cam Shanks open. No. This kid is awful. He drops everything. I'm not going to be upset when he decides to transfer. Taylon Green really needs to do everything for us. He puts the ball in the right spot. It's not enough. He's going to have to scramble in, or else we won't score. Half this roster feels like a make-a-wish right now. Good tackle, though. All right, 2nd and 10. I'm assuming Ahmad Hardy is going to get a carry. I guess he's not. Don't try and feed the tight end. Oh, we can get a pick here. We can get a pick with Scandrett. I can't believe I talked crap about him at the beginning of the year because he's about to get one of the most clutch picks for us. Quintavis Scandrett is the man. The senior safety really does care. And with a triple option, oh, Taylon Green can keep it. Taylon Green's in the end zone. It's 21-0. Is this what winning feels like? I haven't felt this way in a little bit, though we saw what happened against Mississippi State. It's making it very hard for me to get too excited because we were up by even more. Missouri has also decided that they're just not going to throw the ball. Ahmad Hardy is going to get basically every single carry, and if not, it'll be a short pass. I don't know how much of this team I'm going to miss at the end of the season. There's going to be a few players that I would have liked to have continued to have that are either going to transfer or graduate. But I am really excited for the transfer portal and player progression. You can make a lot of progress in those periods. Here on 2nd and 3, they're just going to go back to the air. They have stopped their attempt at running the football, and I am getting Mississippi State PTSD. Handoff. We can wrap up. Hold them to 3. That's the goal. As long as they don't just laser us over the middle, should be good. Ahmad Hardy had an injury timeout there too. Not that you should wish for injuries, but that could be nice. They're not in. I could have called a timeout, but I don't want to risk throwing a pick. I let them take it to the end of the half. Nothing was more important than getting that hold right there. Jordan Anthony might be able to house it. Go, go, go. No one's catching you. No one's catching you. Jordan Anthony to the crib. That's how you end the first half. 28-3. We're not the Falcons. We're not blowing this lead. This is going to be a bowl team at Arkansas. You know, he's a junior. He's got another year of eligibility left, but it really stinks. He wants to transfer. He's not happy here, which I do honestly get. To be fair, we have not used him that much besides on returns. Come on. But I would really love to have him for another season still, and I hope he wins the Jet Award. That could be the first piece of hardware I'm able to collect at Arkansas State, and that's something I normally don't win. It's a joke. That's the only way I feel like I can describe our tackling. It's just a joke. They're going to be able to go over the middle, but it's a bad pass. And it is time for us to just run the football for as much as we can. We don't need to do much. We just need to pick up a few first downs, and that'll allow us to run off a good amount of clock. I really would just love to avoid having another situation like we did against Mississippi State. But look at that. They quickly got us off the field, and I don't feel safe up 28-3, all because of that game. Loving the bounce right here, though, inside the 5. I really don't expect them to try and bomb us deep or anything. But they're going to. They're going to. That was a much better spot to just run the ball, but I guess they've lost all care whenever they know there's not that much time left. Just getting them off the field again would make me feel a lot better, but obviously not going to do it yet. We might be going for a pick here with Larry Worth III, or it's a late run. Just the fact that these clips are still in the video and that I'm still playing at this point shouldn't have you very concerned about a comeback. If I thought this one was over, we would already be getting near the end. There would be no reason to show this type of stuff. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I'm that worried that they're going to pull it off. There's still 8 minutes of game time left, and we cannot fumble. I was trying to slide. Here's the problem, though. I see this alignment, and I just say, there's no way that they're going to be able to guard us deep. And wait, we might actually finally make a play to Blake again. Omega Blake really has been so underutilized for what I thought we were going to do with him this year. We're at least going to get the ball out to Russell. And at this point, if Taylon Green can just take this in the end zone, then I'll be feeling much more confident. We have a 4-possession lead with 4 minutes left. I don't care that they've worked it down the field to like the 10-yard line where they're probably going to get in. When we really needed to, we were shutting down this offense. And the onside kick is going to bounce right past us, but even in the rain, we can scoop it up. We ended up closing out the Battle Line rivalry, so we have been able to win this one, the newest rivalry Arkansas has. Taylon Green didn't even have to pass for that many yards, but he had a good day. I don't think Arkansas fans would be too happy with a 6-6 season, but we just got our first 5-star commit. I skipped over that so nonchalantly. And I think what I'm doing on the recruiting front will make you all a lot more excited. See, here's the thing. We got a 5-star cornerback in Tim Ball. I know he doesn't look like he's going to be a baller. I'm sure he still will be, though. And we've gotten plenty of 4 stars too, especially on our offensive line. Tight end Zeke York. There's some more 3 stars on the board that we're just looking into. We got a Jim and Fuller at corner, kicker and punter, some athletes that we're going to put at linebacker. So even though our season record might seem very similar to what Arkansas would already deal with in real life, even a little bit worse, our recruiting class, as long as it finishes above the top 25, will be better than whatever they do. That's where I need to make strides forward to take this team to the next level. As you can see, SEC has only produced 3 or 4 teams that are going to make it to the playoffs. Kentucky had a pretty good year, and we finished down here tied for last place with Tennessee and Missouri. There's a lot of 6-6 inside the conference. We still got the whole offseason and training results to go through, though. Looking at these season stats, Taylon Green, yeah, pretty rough through the air, but on the ground, he was our best running back. Kind of hurts that Braylon Russell wasn't there for a couple games, but he probably still would have been. Then at receiver, sophomore Jaylen Brown, he turned out to be our top target. He does not want to transfer, but Omega Blake, he's going to be gone. And Cam Shanks, I want this kid to leave. He had 6 drops this year. They were frustrating. They did not make me happy. From the sack side of things, Cameron Ball, the senior defensive tackle, he led us with 5. We did not get that many. Quintavis Scandrett, though, led us with interceptions. Larry Worth III is going to be gone just like him. They're graduating. Selman Bridges, at least, is coming back. But there's a lot of pieces on this defense we're going to be replacing as well, which is not that fun. Tavion Wallace, though, this kid, still the star that we want to focus in on. I might upgrade his quickness a little bit more, but we should probably start focusing on his IQ, run stopping. We missed a lot of tackles. His pass coverage also had problems. Just a lot of moves we got to make in the offseason. I might end up firing both of these coordinators too. Reason being, they're not the real coordinators in real life for Arkansas. We already have Sam Pittman with talent developer. We don't also need him with it, or this kid with architect. I'd much rather see with Arkansas's team prestige if we're able to make some better coordinator hires. So I'm literally just going to fire both of them. 6-6 is not good enough for me. Byron Brown won the Heisman Trophy with those stats right there. Did we win the Jet Award, though? I'm hoping it pops up alongside a bowl game. Jordan Anthony with the Jet Award, almost 1,000 total return yards, 3 touchdowns. So I was right. He did have 3 of them, 2 of them on kickoffs. And we're playing North Texas in the Armed Forces Bowl. You know what? I'm happy with all of that. It's going to be interesting to see how we finish out this season, what we do on the recruiting front. Can we win that bowl game? Who we get as our coordinators? Jim Mora. This has already been the guy I want to pick up for our defensive coordinator, of course, if he chooses us. UConn no longer wants him. And then for our offensive coordinator role, I didn't think that we were going to go with a bunch of architects, but I feel like Sonny just fits that perfectly as who I want. We will have to wait to find out whether or not we got them after our bowl game against North Texas. Tim Ball is going to have star development. We can start to see dev traits on early national signing day. We got impact on Troy Shelby. Alex Merriman comes in with star. He is going to be amazing. Super excited for him. Kevin Crum, the defensive tackle, he's going to have impact. We got star on Emmett Irvin, a right tackle, left tackle with impact. Keontae Brown, potential quarterback option, no longer potential quarterback option with normal development. And when you see normal on a 3-star, they're just not going to be that good. Zeke York, the tight end, has impact. I wanted to see an elite. I wanted to see some stars. I can't say anything was too crazy there, and they average more points per game than us. That makes me want to check something. I can look at team stats across the country. How bad was our offense? Was it in the bottom 25? No, it wasn't. I'd say it was probably ranked like 70th. I wish that was something that we could view. And then on the defensive side of things, Boise State, they had the best defense in the country. Ours was probably pretty leaky. It's not anywhere near this list. In fact, we gave up more points than we scored offensively. Then we'll take a quick look at the top 25. Texas Tech at number 4. That's a good season from them. Not surprised to see Duke here. Michigan with Bryce Underwood. They had a very, very good year. We'll end up finding out in a little bit who's able to win the whole thing. What I was not expecting, though, was Taylon Green asking to sit out the bowl game versus North Texas because he wants to prepare for the chance that he gets drafted in the NFL. He doesn't want to get hurt. So we're going to be starting freshman quarterback KJ Jackson, getting to see what this guy is kind of like. He's the lefty that has the best potential whenever it comes to his accuracy, so we'll see how he develops in the offseason. It's going to be cool to play with him, and I just hope he can lift us to a win over North Texas. With Taylon Green deciding to sit out, it's got me a little bit worried because I was not expecting it. He's still going to be a good teammate, though, on the sideline, cheering us on, and we'll see what it's going to take for us to win this game, set the edge in the run game. Our tight end setting the edge in the run game. I'm looking at you, Caden Platt. First play, we're going to keep it with KJ Jackson, but he's not as quick. Then we're going to roll out to the left because I guess we can still scramble with him. I was going to try and throw it, but I'm starting to realize North Texas is going to feel a lot easier than some of the schools that we have been playing against recently. He's going to get his first completion out to Braylon Russell, and it's about time we let him get some stuff going on the ground too, even if he's leaving. For all we know, we might still be able to convince him to return, and there's a very real chance that this KJ Jackson dude is who we're using next season in the SEC. It also might motivate me to go super hard during the portal, depending on how he does. It is going to be 3rd and 9 for us, and he cannot throw the ball the same way Taylon Green can, even though Taylon Green had his own inaccuracy issues. He's already upset. That would have been a first down if it was Taylon Green out there, and they're celebrating on us like this. Surely we cannot let ourselves lose to North Texas. Throw me a pick. We're going to be disrespectful against them. They did go 9-3 though, and for all we know, they're on the same level as that Memphis team. That ended up being a hard-fought win for us. We shot through the gap, and he just juked away. We would have never had an opportunity like that against a bigger school, though. Gives me some hope. Their run blocking, it's not the best. We sent in a blitz. We can't wrap up, though. This kid is going to be a problem. It's Kifler Sibley. Kid's hard to bring down. We're watching him underneath. And now that they're rolling out, they're going to throw it directly at us. What does Xavier Sorey Jr. do, though? He just fails at catching basically any chance at an interception. Pursuit's not looking good. And I just realized why USA's in the end zone. I got confused for a second, but this is the Armed Forces ball. We stopped the run well there, but they're going to go back to it, and we just didn't have the numbers. So it is on KJ Jackson to come out and start delivering some better plays. To be fair, though, nobody was open there, so it's not like he had someone he should have thrown that football to. He didn't. And they already have us on a 3rd and 10, trying to force a quick 3 and out, but he's going to take matters into his own hands. This is a Taylor Green clone, but a lefty, and so much worse. He does not have a strong enough arm to make this throw either, but that would have been a touchdown with Taylor. I'm really hoping that we can just gash them for a big run at some point. Just not feeling very confident right now. It's feeling like we might actually lose this ball game. It's only a first quarter reaction, but I am going to be panicking during the transfer portal period. How we finish out the offseason will be so crucial to how season 2 goes. We're trying to set ourselves up for the next video, but we might be making things a lot worse. I don't know why, but I just thought this kid was going to come out and throw the ball half decently. That is actually caught, and we're coming down with it with Jaylen Brown. Ever since they made some updates to this game, I didn't know you could still make aggressive catches. I feel like they've just become so rare, so that was nice to see. That was a really bad read from KJ, though. It doesn't give me too much confidence for him. At least we're about to get ourselves into this end zone. It's still early in this game, too. It's why you can never overreact too soon, but that's a perfectly placed pass. And this kid reminds me of Jalen Darden wearing number 1. I hope that name can ring a bell for you. Feels like a pretty crazy pull. We are back to just having to throw the ball, though, and KJ Jackson's getting caught. This is really bad. We needed our defense to step up and help him out, and they just didn't do their job. We just cannot give up another big touchdown like that. We're putting so much pressure on the freshman, and we're just going to have to put that into the hands of someone else. Ideally, Braden Russell, but his rushes haven't gone for that many yards yet in this game. So I'll keep trying it, but if it's not there, we might as well keep it and not get far. There has been something fun about rolling out to the left, though. I've actually been enjoying it more than I typically would. Complete the little dump off. I think it just works really well for some of the plays in this playbook, though he's going to miss another slant. There's been so many open receivers that we just aren't hitting, but we got a one-on-one, and we can't pull off the truck. That was the perfect opportunity for it, too. That's why you have Braylon Russell. I wanted him to lay that dude down. Just didn't work out that way, though. We are going to be able to scramble for a good bit. KJ gets in, and I like it. I like it a lot, actually. He's starting to get a little bit more comfortable out there in his own skin. I even called a timeout hoping that we could get a stop on this 3rd and 13 and get him another chance to move the ball down the field, which it looks like we will. I just wanted to give him a 1-minute drill with no timeouts, and this is a sky-high punt. But if we can just outrun all these kids, oh, this is going to be another touchdown to the Jet Award winner, Jordan Anthony. He's gone. He's gone. I don't know why they would try and test him. I think in kicking it that high, they assumed that players could get there fast enough, but it made it far too easy. All of a sudden, it's seeming like we're actually going to pull this off. With the way it started, I was just preparing myself for the worst, but that's a great snag. North Texas is still in a position where they could tie things up to end this first half, which would completely change things. Is it weak to click off? I've just noticed that whenever I click off, we have a much better chance at actually pulling off the tackle. Oh, they're testing bridges. It worked. It worked. That is exactly why we would normally swat there. Now we have put KJ Jackson in a position where he could get us into field goal range. But I'm just really upset with the fact that we just gave that up. Is this a good throw? It is. Okay, we're in our kicker's range. We just have to find a way to stop this clock and not have the entire thing run out. I think we're going to be able to just go out of bounds with Washington Jr. Mike makes the smart play for us. But what if we just tried to get into the end zone to end this half and took that extra risk? KJ is amazing. I changed my full opinion about him from the first quarter to the end of this half. If we can just work on KJ Jackson's accuracy, he has a lot more potential than I was seeing at first. I know it's North Texas. I know this is not SEC competition, but they're a 9-3 team. They're not that bad. I plan on really working in the portal as well to get some fast running backs. In fact, I'm going to be looking directly for the kid from Missouri just because we saw how good of a season he had. You know what? That's something I should check out as well. Just look at the national stats and see what players are at risk of transferring. If that's something that I'm able to view, there's no way that they just converted there. Pain, pain, pain. That is all that Arkansas and Arkansas fans know. We will eventually bring the glory back to this program, though. It's coming. 3rd down. Oh, that's got to be guarded by at least one of us. The worst part about this entire drive is North Texas has stayed in hurry-up mode for the last, 2 minutes. Everybody that's currently out there on the field is completely exhausted. But maybe this can be when we finally get them off of the field. You gotta catch it. What's crazy is he leads our team in interceptions, but he could have had twice as many at least. I've also found something that looks like a little bit of a speed boost every so often with these kick returns. I didn't get it there, but Jordan Anthony might get his second return of the day. This kid is a cheat code. I'm going to try to recruit this kid back in the portal. His returns didn't work as well throughout the season when we're playing higher overall teams. But when we're playing smaller schools where everybody on our return team's a higher overall, they're better at blocking, that's when he makes a difference. Just like that as well, we're starting to actually close this one out with some straps. I can glaze Larry Worth III one final time before he ends up graduating, and KJ Jackson actually hit a slant this time. I don't know what's up with Omega Blake and Cam Shanks just dropping everything though. Omega Blake, our best receiver, actually had 8 drops this season, so that's even more than Shanks ended up having. And if that ball was placed a little bit better, it would have been easier for Jalen Brown to bring in. Currently, it's only a 14-point game, so this one's still not over. Tavion had to pick one of those two to guard. There was only so much that we could do there. We're bringing in a heavy blitz on this next play, and we dropped another. You know, Quintavis Scandrett might be better than whatever we get out of the portal, but he has been so frustrating. How did we not snag that football there? I mean, we were in the right position, right time. We're all over them. I just want to end this season with a bowl win and not give up more touchdowns to North Texas. Just off of the fact that they stay in hurry-up mode this much, by the way, I will never put them on the schedule. I don't care if it's not realistic. If they're scheduled to play the Razorbacks in real life, it's getting pulled. I'm going to make the schedule for this rebuild as entertaining as I can every season. That's why we played Oklahoma State instead of an FCS school. The SEC is also going from 8 conference games to 9 conference games next year. So in seasons 2 and any season after that, we're going to have to play 9 conference games in the SEC. That's going to be a challenge. We get another pick. Tavian Wallace actually got that one. It's his first career interception. What a play for him. There's definitely a few young pieces on this team to be excited about as we keep on going forward. We're not going to have to fully rebuild through just the transfer portal. We're in a little bit of trouble here, though. And that's a fumble? I've seen some broken stuff on this game. This might be the most broken thing I've ever seen. How did he end up throwing it that way? It's going to make it 3rd and 28 for us. I thought we were just going to smoothly close this one out, which we still would end up doing. North Texas would never score again, but that was just really weird. When it comes to KJ Jackson's stats, I feel like they don't tell the whole story. He really helped this team overcome a hump. And look at that. In our first season with Arkansas, we've already picked up 3 pieces of hardware for the trophy room, our bowl trophy, the Jet Award, and then the Battle Line trophy against Missouri. Out of curiosity on if we could see deal breakers or not, I started looking around the rest of the country at some of these running backs, seeing if there's anybody in the portal we'd like to get. Love to see Dante for Kentucky doing this well with 23 touchdowns. Dodo's probably going to stay, though. We're just not able to see any deal breakers, so we're not going to be able to determine who's actually going to enter the portal, and I'm very scared to see how many guys from our team do. At least Jim Morrow wants to be our defensive coordinator, but we didn't get the offensive coordinator that we wanted, which is actually fine because Tony Elliott from Virginia became available, and I'd love to get him in with his spread offense and some strategist boosts. We were somehow his only offer, so he signed with us, and not only is there a little bit of benefit on the recruiter side as well, it'll help us scout offensive players quicker. But this strategist stuff is key because you're going to see that now running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen now have a lower deal breaker threshold. Plus, visits are going to have a bigger impact for all these types of prospects. For our defense, Jim Moore is actually not that useful. His architect boost aren't that upgraded yet. He has stuff on the special team side of things that I don't want. So I think he's heavily in the tactician side more and scheme guru. But Sam Pittman himself, this is where we get some massive boost if we can just acquire some skill points. I would love to get stuff like quarterback whisperer where freshman and sophomore quarterbacks progress faster. That could make a massive difference. He's just already a level 41, so it's hard to acquire any skill points. Matt Campbell ended up going over to Nebraska. It was because Matt Rule was fired who decided he'll just go to California, and then Lance Leopold left Kansas to go to Wisconsin. Just some interesting coaching carousel moves. Texas Tech won the national championship over Georgia. I guess paying for a good roster paid off. But let's just go ahead and get this tough period over with. There is so many players transferring. Braylon Russell, extremely low to come back. I don't think we're going to be able to convince anybody. It really hurts to see someone like freshman Kevin Otis that's a 76 leave, but he is normal development, so we can't complain too much. Trevor Jackson and Grayson Wilson also want to go. I guess deciding that we're just going to use KJ Jackson in the bowl game really upset both of them. They realized they don't have as bright of a future. With our final persuasion, we're going to try and get Jordan Anthony to come back but it's failed just like every other persuasion we attempted. So anyone that entered the portal, they are gone. Then we have to say goodbye to a whole list of plenty of seniors, basically our entire starting lineup, whether it's on the offensive line. We got Fernando Carmona declaring for the draft, of course. We got guys like Omega Blake that could still get picked up by teams. Mike Washington Jr., he's going to be gone. Scandrett also leaving. Taylon Green, of course, we knew it was coming. Cameron Ball, another impact player. Caleb Wooden, I mean, you're seeing so many names. Dix Jr., Steven, he popped up a bunch. Larry Worth III, this is just gonna stink. After all those departures, I'm really not sure what all we ended up having left. Omega Blake did get drafted too. But if you just ignore seniors whenever we're looking at the team roster, you'll see stuff like KJ Jackson is the only quarterback in our room besides the guy that we've recruited out of high school. Then at running back, Cam Settles, the only guy that's currently here. Like, there's so much work we have to do. Currently next year on the receiving front, Jalen Brown's going to be back, but outside of that, all these other faces you're not going to be familiar with. At least Jaden Platt we're going to be familiar with at tight end. And I'm just starting to realize that being able to fill all those team needs is going to be pretty hard to do with only 16 slots open for transfers that we can recruit. Somehow there weren't that many players that were actually interested in coming to our school originally, but there's players in the open status we're going to pursue anyway. If you look up at the top of our transfer options though, Ricky Hunt Jr., he's going to be a junior running back. I would love to get him. Problem is he's from Oklahoma City, so he'll probably end up going to the Cowboys. Then at quarterback, we can choose between Michael Hawkins Jr. and Kenny Minchie. If we just get one of them, we'll be set. If for whatever reason neither of those work out, we're also going to add Malachi Nelson to our board and just pursue him at QB. As a former 5-star recruit, he should still be pretty viable. He's transferring over from UTEP. He's already transferred so many times. I'm just going to keep on scouting and seeing what other options we can use for our final 4 transfer spots. It's actually going to be 5 because one of the running backs on our board had like 82 speed. What I've done is I've put Brady Hart, another quarterback. I just want to make sure that we have multiple quarterback options. I've put a receiver in Jaron Hamilton. He's a speedster, and then some defensive backs too. We won't really know what players we stand a chance on until we advance a week. And as you can see, when we look at these 4 stars, there's a lot of competition because these are good quarterbacks. Like, they're probably going to go to other SEC schools. We're probably not going to get Ricky Hunt Jr., though we had a bigger gain on Oklahoma State, which is nice. So that's why I'm glad we've taken first place on Malachi Nelson. We took first place on Brady Hart. We don't need all these quarterbacks. We might have to move around our board depending on who signs with us. But we wanted these options, and we're about to guess some hard sells. If they're incorrect, then we're just going to have to redo our board in another week. We have to pull out some guesses, though, which is the most stressful part about all of this, because I think what's going to happen is we're just going to fall out of the battle if we're incorrect for either one of these. And sure enough, that's how it played out with Michael Hawkins Jr. We fell to 4th place, and even on Kenny Minchie, unfortunately, he's from Tennessee, so he's not going to choose us, despite getting it correct. We did get Ricky Hunt Jr. correct, though, which means we've jumped up to 1st place, and we're going to beat out Oklahoma State. Then there's 94 speed receiver Jaron Hamilton that Indiana's going to get because we completely whiffed on his hard sell. I just kept searching for more talent, though, and signing Ricky Hunt Jr. as we go into the final week of the offseason is big. What really stinks is there's just certain players I'm having to accept that we're not going to get. What I decided is I need to make room for more prospects on here so we can sign as big of a class as possible. I'm actually excited about Amarian Peterson as a potential running back in the future. He's an elusive bruiser with 90 speed. With only so many roster spots I can give to recruits, I hope he ends up being worth it. We are about to see guys like Isaac Smith, a 4-star transfer. They did choose our school. Malachi Nelson as well. And there's a good chance as I go through player progression to end this first season, to end this video, to prepare us for season number 2, a lot of the players that you see on this list are going to end up being starters for us, even over some of the guys that we've recruited out of high school. What it all comes down to is the dev trait, and Malachi Nelson comes in with elite development. I think he's going to be our starter for the next couple seasons. Strong safety Isaac Smith, the 4-star, has star dev, though Ricky Hunt Jr. has normal development, which is very disappointing for him. Either way, my goal with Arkansas was to sign better than a top 30 class, since that's what they normally average, and we got inside the top 20, which is great. If you compare us to the rest of the SEC, though, that barely puts us inside the top 10, which just shows it's going to be very hard over these years to be better than our competition. I'm somehow going to have to recruit even better. I'm very excited for player progression, for Malachi Nelson, for Brady Hart as well. This is another transfer that came in as a freshman with the deal breaker on playing time. So if we don't start him, if he doesn't have high potential and we put Malachi Nelson out there instead, we will lose him. I just wanted to give us as many options as possible, and I'm not the biggest fan. 88 throw power, his speed 76. What I'm going to have to accept, though, is Malachi Nelson is capped out to a certain overall, so he might not be our best player, and he's going to want to transfer due to his deal breaker unless we won a ton of games. I will say we could definitely use more bodies at running back and and at receiver, we're going to have to find better players next year in those positions. I was able to snag a couple other athletes that could be moved there, so that will help to our depth a little bit, but they don't have very high potential. Tim Ball, the 5-star corner, by the way, coming in as a 79 overall. Then it looks like Isaac Smith's going to be an 88 overall strong safety, so he could be our best player on our defense. We'll see after player progression. Free safety options, not looking as good. All around, if we could just get this team better than it was last season, I think I'll be happy. And the first player I focused in on was Malachi Nelson. His accuracies are up quite a bit, but 67 throw under pressure, that is 7 worse than Taylon Green had this past season. He can even get his speed up to 89 before running out of skill points. And I think if you compare him to KJ Jackson, after I focused only on upgrading his accuracies, you would see that Malachi Nelson is just the better player at the moment. Brady Hart might be a little bit of a different story though, because all of his accuracies are looking pretty good. They're better than Malachi Nelson's, and he's a similar overall with a slightly weaker arm and no speed. So it's going to be tough, but right now Malachi Nelson has a little edge. I'm just also trying to think long term, and as a freshman, Brady Hart could be around for 4 more years. Then we have Amarian Peterson at running back. He came in with 90 speed. I upgraded just his elusiveness, and it actually got him to a higher overall than Ricky Hunt Jr., the 4-star transfer. So he's looking like the starter for us there. Jaylen Brown is very disappointing because his catching's already at a pretty high level, and we can only upgrade specifically catching. So I got his quickness up to 97. Route running is maxed out. Abilities, there's not too much we can do. So I worked on a lot of his after the catch stats as well, but I feel like one of these guys is probably going to end up passing him up as our #1 receiver. I guess not though. A lot of them are this elusive route runner archetype, which I just can't stand whenever it comes to progressing players because they can't get as good at receiver as you want them to. Jaden Platt though took him from a 79 up to an 86. And I really worked on his route running because that was frustrating me this past season. We also made his catching a lot better. I think that's going to make a big difference on him. Safety, Isaac Smith, our best defensive player, had like no coverage stats, so I focused on that for him, which got him up to a 91 overall as a senior. And I'm like 99% sure he's going to stay our best defensive player, but Selman Bridges has gotten up to an 89 overall, where we maxed out his man coverage, and next up will be his zone. Tavion Wallace is going to get a lot better coverage stats because we noticed that he was giving up a lot in zone coverage last year. I increased his run stopping a little bit too. Even IQ can make a big difference. By the time I'm finished with all this player progression, I think it's safe to say this team is better than the one we had last year. I think it's got a little bit more depth, but it's not that much better than the team we had last season. And what I have to prepare for in season 2 is a lot of guys on this team could end up transferring out. Even Bridges doesn't like our current brand exposure grade, so it doesn't make sense that we made him this good. But that's just the way things are. With our new freshman kicker and punter, by the way, it does mean that Scott Starzik is going to be encouraged to transfer. We no longer need his services. And I haven't forgotten, we're going to bump up the conference games to 9 to match what the SEC's doing in real life. Before I start filming season 2, there's definitely some decisions I'm going to have to make about this team. With some of our tactician boost, Malachi Nelson is up to an 87 overall quarterback. We'll have to find out whether or not he is the starter. And I'm just really happy to start doing another series. The YouTube algorithm doesn't always love it as much, so if you all could hit a like on this and just keep on pushing it out, I'd really appreciate it. But I will see you all in the next one when we get started with hopefully Malachi Nelson.